Imagination. Yeah. Slide on in, everybody. Climb aboard, everyone. Smooth as it gets. All right. Yeah. Imagination. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Climb aboard. Well, it starts off so calm and so peaceful here on Z Show. And then, invariably, each day, it ends up in a state of complete and utter chaos. Who knows what today will bring? It's weird how it happens. Agents of chaos abound here in the metaverse. Pure agents and pure chaos. And of course, pure imagination. But yes, you found your way back to Z Show. Welcome. Welcome. And as you know, all are welcome. All. Not just us so-called humans, but all you sentient life forms that seem to be inhabiting this earthly realm. Where are you guys? I want to meet you. I mean, I've had some experience with some weird creatures and entities here that I may or may not choose to talk about. But I've never seen you, you reptilians. Where are you? Maybe I have, and I just was unawares. What about the mantids? Apparently there's a mantid species running around here. They're apparently kind of nasty, those fucking mantids. What about the Pleiades, the Pleiadians? I think I'm most interested in the Pleiadians. Those Pleiadian ladies seem to be quite attractive. It's kind of like one of my fantasies, that I'm visited by a alien race of Pleiades, and the female of their species take an interest in me for some reason. It could be the ultimate, like, maybe a Revenge of the Nerds, like, or some type of Better Off Dead John Cusack 80s comedy, like, love story, where I'm like the nerdy guy. You know, I'm kind of jealous of like the alpha Chad guy at high school. And what happens? Alien invasion. It's got to be high school. There's got to be high school hijinks involved. And we know that will involve boobies, but age boobies, senior boobies, 18-year-old boobies, of course. Because you guys know, like I said, all good 80s comedy movies need boobies. But this one stars me, and there's an invasion at the school. And the hot Pleiadians basically take me into their mothership. And then I become some type of sexual experiment. We could make this happen. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the alien invasion. Come on, guys. What are you waiting for? I'm all ready for that alien Jesus. Like I said, if they make Jesus an alien, I hope it's a Pleiadian alien Jesus. If they come out with like a gray alien ET like Jesus, I'm not really going to be too happy with that presentation. That's not going to be like enjoyable. Could you imagine how they'd have to change all the crucifixes that you see in front of all these churches and stuff? Instead of the beautiful Fabio like Jesus that they present to us now, this beautiful long wavy hair, it's going to be like E.T. strung up on the cross. Well, we know he's really a gray alien. So it's still the same Jesus, like everything still applies, but he's E.T. now. That's not going to have the same quality like at the Vatican. I'm just saying. So, okay, New World Order controllers, if you're going to give us alien Jesus, give us something we could work with. I'm going for Pleiadian. There's other versions too. Just not gray alien Jesus, please. We don't want that. It's going to screw a lot of people up. It just will. My grandmother's nativity scene at Christmas will just, won't be quite the same with a little baby E.T. in the fucking manger. You see what I mean, guys? It just doesn't work like that. Who knows? I'm just saying. Who's with me? Anybody? Just wondering. Would anybody else be pissed off if Jesus turned out to be a fucking gray alien? I'm just saying. Tristan Laverack says no one would fall for that. Don't be so sure there, Tristan. I mean, have you seen what the people can fall for? Tristan, a few years ago, I may have agreed with your statement there. Not anymore. It kind of seems like people would just fall for anything that the TV tells them. If the TV says it, people seem to believe it. Not the news. Just put it in a movie. Make it a Marvel movie. Hey, maybe Alien E.T. Jesus could be like the new Avengers character. He could be one of the Avengers. Maybe he could be one of the Guardians of the Galaxy. You have Groot, Gamora, and fucking Alien E.T. Jesus. We can get that James Gunn guy to direct and produce the whole fucking thing. I'm just telling you. Maybe we'll bring that J.J. Abrams in. He could do the E.T. Jesus thing. He appears to be the new, like, Steven Spielberg of the modern age, this J.J. Abrams guy. The guy who helmed all the new Star Wars and Star Trek and all that stuff. I say we put the franchise, the whole religious franchise, in the hands of one J.J. Abrams. I think he's small hatty enough to handle the job. I'm just saying. Hey. Come with me. John Thomas is here. He says, I won't be bowing to anyone but white Jesus. John Thomas, our friend, he's sticking with the white Jesus. Really, John? I mean, I know that's maybe your preferred Jesus, but are we really going to go with the white Jesus story? You know, with the guy who was born in the desert and grew up there. You think there was a lot of white guys running around that that land of Israel like a couple thousand years ago, John? Are we really going to go with the white Jesus? I'm just saying. I don't know, John Thomas. You might want to think about that. Yeah, Joe Moore says white Jesus is the Caesar Borgia. They just decided to make Jesus look like a beautiful, like European guy. John Thomas is sticking with that Jesus. He doesn't want to hear anything else. I told you guys the other day, they kept Jesus looking beautiful in the desert. Why is every depiction of Jesus, he's like camera ready? Jesus was like a model, apparently. Kept himself looking really good, you know, in the harsh conditions of the oh my God. This is where the Christians get mad at me. They flip out at me. Oh God. Yeah, he's radiant. Jesus was radiant. He was gorgeous. I told you guys. He had a glam squad. What do you think the 12 disciples were? The 12 disciples were like Jesus's. They kept him looking pretty in the desert. That's what it's all about. It's about the presentation. Who cares about the Sermon on the Mount? That really doesn't matter. It's all about the optics. Look at that Joe Osteen. Osteen, I should say. Joel Osteen. Have you seen that guy's beautifully coiffed hair? He he took a page out of Jesus's book. He said, "Look, if I'm going to come up here and say a bunch of stuff to people, my hair better be looking really nice." Oh. Yeah, Bergie, the 12 disciples were his hairdressers. Well, a few of them were. One of them was like an anesthetician. Another one, another one was in charge of the mani-pedis. Remember that one chick who bathed his feet in like precious oils with her hair? Remember that one? He had people tending to him. It was a big job tending to Jesus. They had to learn from that John the Baptist. First, it was John the Baptist. He was before Jesus, right? But he was out of control. He was wild, apparently. He just lived in the middle of the desert along a river, the one river that apparently ran through. He was just like eating, what, locust and honey? He just was wearing like animal skins. That guy was fucking whack looking. After, you know, the whole John the Baptist thing, they had to get together and say, all right, listen, if we're going to fucking come to the people with this stuff, we need like a better presentation. We can't have a crazy guy screaming in the desert. And he said, well, what about this Jesus guy? I think he'll fit the part. He's tall, he's handsome. His hair is beautiful. Let's put him up there. And they were like, yeah, okay, let's do it. Yeah, Rubinstein said he had one was rolling his joints. He had an entourage. That's all the 12 disciples were. They were like his entourage. They were cruising around, making sure he looked good. You know, he had like a PR person. Come on, you had Peter, all the guys, John, Simon. I think there was multiple Simons. I don't know. Just saying. Uncle Rick thinks they were all eating mushrooms. People have been saying that to me, Uncle Rick. The other thing is they're telling me is that they were consuming large amounts of cannabis, but they didn't appear to be smoking it. They were eating it, potentially infused in the wine, which makes sense to me, Uncle Rick, because I've discovered that the effects of cannabis are vastly different when you compare eating it versus smoking it. And I've decided that the effects of edible cannabis ingestion is much more pleasurable for me than smoking it. Who's with me? I'd like to hear the chat because I'm like into this now. I'm not particularly fond of sitting there smoking the weed. It gives me, but when I consume the edible, version of cannabis, definitely different. It's a completely different experience. I'm wondering if anybody, can back me up on that. Completely different. John Thomas is 50% something. John Thomas appears to be a Bible scholar in some way. Uncle Rick says he only smokes it. Interesting. Yeah, I guess it's, whatever works for you. I'm just saying for me right now, I'm just kind of noticing that. Jim Pelter says 325 milligrams of edibles and he can coon hunt all night. I don't know if you mean real coons or if you're using that metaphorically. Tristan Laverack says, I was a smoker for 20 years. Now I get too paranoid to smoke. Eating it makes me tired but not paranoid. Tristan, that's exactly my experience. Thank you for saying that, because that's exactly what I'm experiencing too at this point. Steph Davis agrees, it's totally different. Nuba thinks it depends on the strain. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, rock and roll, everybody. Rolling on into Zeesh. Yesterday was, of course, Halloween, which means trick-or-treating where I'm from. And I got to tell you something. True to form, some of these ladies that were walking around, Hachiwawa, young mothers too. There was this young mother that came up to trick-or-treat around here. She was walking down the street. She might, she was toting her little kiddo. Little daughter was like, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4. She was kind of, walking behind her and with her and stuff. This mom, I'm assuming it's the mom. I don't know. She had on the skimpiest, like totally black witch, slutty witch fucking costume. And she's just walking around the neighborhood. Now, you guys know me. I'm like, me. So I saw her and like the bells and whistles just started like going off in my brain, And yeah, they look like hookers, Uncle Rick. This chick looked like a fucking Uncle Rick. She's walking around here. Like I live in a town, I live in a reasonably sized town. Like we have things here. You know what I mean? Like there's restaurants, there's hardware stores, there's, you know what I mean? There's fucking stuff here. It's not a city. She's walking around these neighborhoods. Okay. I know, just like me, every other guy, the husband's dad, whatever, their mind must have been exploding just like mine. This chick's walking around. She was just one, but she was a mommy walking around. I'm just assuming she was the mom. She seemed like the mom. And I'm like, holy mackerel. These chicks are running around here looking like this, going up and down the streets. Again, why? More and more, I'm loving Halloween. I never loved Halloween. I was against Halloween for a long time. Rule by Seven says Halloween is mating season. It kind of is this time of year. They call this time of year cuffing season. The ladies out there know it. Cuffing kind of like handcuffs, because there's something about this time of year where the ladies are looking to get it on. Because what they're really doing is they're throwing it out there because they're trying to lock a guy in for this time of year. This is it. They go out there. It's, pumpkin festivals, October festivals, blah, blah, blah. They look hot as fuck. Everybody's in the mood. The temperature's right. Everything's just right. And they got to cuff a guy up for the winter, for the holiday season. You know, it's cuffing season. These chicks are out of control this time of year. I've always noticed it, even more than in the spring. Even more so than in the spring, which would make sense because say you get a chick, you know, you knock her up this time of year. She does her pregnant. It all makes sense to me, guys. I don't know. But Halloween's probably now becoming one of my more favorite holidays. And you guys, you know, I'm not big on the holidays, which is weird because you think it would be opposite. It's not. But these chicks were just walking around the neighborhoods, blowing minds. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, they're saddling up for winter. They're getting ready. Look who checked in, Smith W. How you feeling this morning, Mr. Smith W? How is your temperament? The Z show's like an insane asylum. Have you guys ever seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? That's what it feels like for me. And I have to show up like fucking Nurse Ratched. How are you this morning? Have you taken your meds? Yes, it's a fine morning, isn't it? Carry on. That's what it's like. So I have to look and see Smith W in here and be like, oh, what the fuck is he up to? Is he just gonna pop? You never know when people are gonna pop. It's interesting. Jim says this is the time of year the bitches be chubbing up for the winter. Yeah, which is fine. Let them. As you guys know, my faithful listeners know, I am not against a little cushion for that pushing. You get it? I don't care if these bitches got a little fries with that shake. It does not bother me. I welcome it. I'm like that. I'm beyond that in my life. The older gentleman here will understand exactly what I'm talking about. When you reach a certain age, certain strata of maturity in your male life, yeah, you kind of like get past like the Hollywood presentation of like what hotness is, and you just get down to the nitty gritty of it all. And then you realize that these chickadees running around with a little extra stuffing, even double stuffing, well, it's not such a bad thing. Smith W says, I'm doing all right, not drinking. Well, good for you, Smith. But I don't expect you to be drinking on a Wednesday at wherever. It's probably 5 a.m. where you are. I would expect it. You're probably going to work. I would expect that you're not drinking, dude. I would hope so. You got to get that under control. I'm just saying. It's like anything. All right, you want to have a couple of drinks with your dinner, that's one thing. I get it. If you're getting home on a Friday night, Smith, and you're just downing a half a gallon of fucking vodka, did you polish off the whole gallon by the end of the night? That would be insane. Because you didn't say you had a liter of vodka. You said you had a gallon of vodka. You're drinking that shit at high fucking quantities, man. That is insane, dude. I don't know how people do it. Uncle Rick, what do you think about these people that drink that like amount of alcohol? I'm not sure how people even do it physically. You guys just all must have different chemistry than me. Because I've had friends, I've seen it with my own eyes. My one buddy, he's a Greek gentleman, and I haven't seen him in a long time, but he's a Scotch drinker, and this guy's got a lot of money. He was born into money. He's a pharmacist. The guy's loaded, so he was just drinking top shelf Scotch every night, and we'd hang out like a lot. He's my good friend. We grew up together, and then into adulthood. And whatever. And the dude was just sucking down Scotch on the rocks like it was fucking water. And it would blow my mind. because I take a shot or two and I'm goofy and I'm out of it and my fucking insides are on fire. It has to just be a chemistry thing. People must have just a different makeup. A quarter in 8 hours. So what do you say? A quarter, like a fifth? Chili the con artist thinks that he might need to go to detox. He may. No, what he's doing, Chili, he's getting bombed all weekend and then he white knuckles. He white knuckles his work week, right? This is what Smith does. He gets bombed on the weekends. He white knuckles his work week, smoking cigs, smoking camels, fucking probably shaking, maybe getting dosed up a little bit here and there, and then the weekend comes and he just jumps right back into it. But interestingly enough, it seems like his superpowers, like his number counting, date counting superpowers, it seems as though they're somewhat derived from his excessive alcohol consumption. Because I watched it happen on London Man's channel the other night. He hit like a certain state of like alcoholic drunkenness where like he went into number counting overdrive. So I'm wondering, Smith, like, are you realizing that, like, for whatever reason, like, your dark powers of number counting are somehow dependent on your alcohol consumption? It's weird. I watched it happen right in front of my eyes. It was very strange. I don't know. He says, no, I'll put my head down. He said, I'll put my head down and go to work. I don't know. He's talking to somebody. He said, no, I get your... Are you talking to No? I don't see No here. He's talking to somebody. He says, I get you're into the Jew math. That's what Smith calls gematria, because he does not want to be confused with a gematria person. He's very intent on expressing that, so he calls it Jew math. He says, no, I get it, you're into Jew math, and people like somebody decodes, but you'll always be good in my book, even if you don't want to like me anymore. I never did nothing to you. I was talking to Gigi. Gotcha. Because Gigi's into the Jew math. Yeah, Gigi's a gematria person. Gotcha. He's talking to Gigi. Gigi, what do you think about our friend Smith? Yeah, for some reason, Gigi and Smith are going at it. Weird. But good for you. I'm glad you're not drinking, Smith, but it doesn't count if you could just white knuckle it for like 4 days through the work week or 5. Stop it. Just stop it. I'm not buying it. I'm just not. We love you, Smith. Just know that. I want my listeners to feel a sense of like belonging, because nobody wants to be rejected. So we're going to do a lot of good spirited razzing here on Z Show, as you guys know, but like, I don't want to destroy you, Smith. Like, it seems like you can handle it in good fun, but that's one of the reasons why I told Heidi I can't have her up here anymore, because it's too much for some people. I realized that. I'm like, this isn't good. You can't handle it. It's going to be bad. Like we've seen throughout the ages of Z Show, like what happens. We've seen the Crunchy Bee debacle, remember? There's so many. I have to like monitor that. If I sense we're getting too close to like some sense of utter total dysfunction, I'm going to have to back off. Who knows, Mr. Smith? Just saying. But there's one person. I'll say this to you, Smith. I'm completely and utterly fascinated with you, but I will admit, and don't get jealous, because people get jealous about the weirdest things. And I could see Smith kind of getting like weird about certain things. Like, oh, like I don't want you to talk about me, but now you don't. Now you're not talking about me. It's weird. It's a push-pull with so many people. It's constant. It's this ambivalent relationship that people have, where there's strong feelings on equal yet opposite sides. Strong feelings simultaneous love and hate. That's a definition of ambivalence. But the reality is, there's somebody I'm more fascinated with than you, Smith W. So,
audiences. Yeah. I'm covering the show as though Cletus must. We're doing a little interstellar white trash throwdown smash bash. Illumitami show style. Had to come on down here and make sure that old George, I saw that old George there on that over there on that Paul and Slave show. Paul and Slave show had an old George there. Thought it was my buddy buddy Eon from that show, the news show. News show, y'all down here got the Spurg News. My buddy old Eon on that show.
like, what the fuck are we looking at, right? He's calling himself Cletus Musk. Apparently, he's a apparently he's a redneck alien. Like a redneck alien who like comes to us from another planet. Or what the fuck are we even talking about here?
I ain't seen him since he left to do that show. I saw him, thought he popped on the old Paul Unslaved, or thought he popped on the old Paul Unslaved. It wasn't him, some old boy named George. Some old boy named George on there. Anyway, y'all fucking up down here on this planet, man. Y'all talking that big boy talk. Y'all doing a lot of that big boy talk, everybody, but them big boys. See some of y'all send them little girls, the 3LW boys, see you send them little girls talk. They ain't doing too much, man. They ain't doing too much. Then you send, you got them old boys, they be talking to the wrong boys. Be saying the wrong things to the wrong people, man. Y'all be fucking it up down here on this here rock. That's what it is, boy. That's what it is. It's a spinning rock. It's a spinning rock spinning around a star, man. Source all your life, man. Man. Some of them old boys down here, boy. Some of them boys down there think they're spinning on a plate, boy. Some boys down here think they be spinning on a plate like no dang old DJ disc, man. You spinning it right now. Right around, baby, right around, boy. Some of them boys down here think they spinning on a plate. That's crazy, man. I fly down here like 3 times a year, man. It ain't no plate, man. Ain't no plate. Dang on ball, boy. Dang on sphere ball. Man, I tell you what, man, these boys don't even know what kind of planet they standing on. They taking their problems the wrong boy, thinking they doing on a plate. I tell you what, man. I tell you what. And y'all got out there, and y'all got any problems? Y'all know fellow hairless monkeys, man. You bring it on here. See if we can get them worked out before that old machine lies starts up, and don't it? Don't.
Let me just say this, Tommy. You keep hitting that pipe, dude. You're not gonna need. Eventually, you're not gonna need a filter to like do this little fucking bit here, dude. Like the filter that you're using will be unnecessary in like 3 years, dude. Like it's almost to that point now, dude. What are you doing?
Don't it, boy? Don't I tell you? Don't let the machine lie. He'll tell you about it, bro. What's up there, Grand H? I see you, Grand H. What's up there? Oh, Melanie Moron. Oh, Melanie Moron, man. I told you what. She turned out she was that dang on first. She going to dang on chat like first, you know? She didn't say first. She could have. Dang on 14, man. Dang on too young for Illumitami even. Hey, Bo Winker. Bo Winker be like at the back door. Be like that, but the back door. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about.
No, we
Oh,
don't.
Melly Moron knows what I'm talking about.
Not anymore.
Capricorn.
Not anymore.
Capricorn, you ever go backwards, ran backwards naked through a cornfield? That's Capricorn. It's a Capricorn thing to do. Man. Man, what shows y'all come from? What show y'all just come from? I saw a couple of them shows are on. A couple of them shows I didn't feel much like eyelid blinking at no more.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm talking about that old Luma Tommy. They're talking about the producer of the show, man. I ain't gonna go watch that old crap. They ain't take that crap out of Luma Tommy. I see him saying a lot of Luma Tommy, not too Luma Tommy though. Man, fart knockers. Fuck yeah, fart knockers. Oh yeah, man. Run through a cornfield backwards. That'll get a few. Y'all excited? It's what some of my other nations found when doing our 3-decade anal probe experimentation to the human race. Found that 1 in 6 don't mind it so much, man. Just like running backwards through a cornfield. I tell you what. Man, what's going on? Let's do a little crowd work. Nobody got no beef. We need some beef havers to show up here. No, it's not that ain't no daggone voice filter. That's nothing but a thespian. It's nothing but thespian voice filter. Dang on what I tell you what. So anyway, man, you see that old boy George on the Paul and Slave show? I thought that was Eon Sus. Eon Flux. He don't like when I get his name wrong, but in my family, all last names go straight up the tree. It's easy to remember. He's got some branches over there. Sus, Flux. But I thought that was old George over there. Thought that was old George showing up. Well, it was George, but I thought it was Eon Flux. Thought it was my old boy Eon Flux. Ain't seen him since he ran off to work for Spurg News. Work for the old Spurg News. So, got any beef havers, any beef takers? This is the interstellar throwdown just till the machine lies. Till that daggone machine lies. You know what we better do? Better bring up Machine Lies so we know when his old show's there kicking off there. Let's just get y'all warmed up for a little Machine Lies. I don't know what kind of show have. That used to be daggone free range. You know that Machine Lies show technically still is, but people just being classier with it. People, come on, you can get up on here, Earth Dog. Come on, you can get up there. You can get up there, Earth Dog. Oh, there you go. I ain't gonna push him up. He ain't old enough, need no push up. And yesterday and today's his birthday, man. Do his birthday on the old Halloween. That's why it's reason. See, we didn't like the reverse pagans. We took the Satan holiday and we put a dog's birthday there because he's born sometime in October around this time anyway. So I just do his birthday now, avoid the Satan's holiday. Am I right? But just on this one in particular, he's 13. He's 13. He ain't got a show for y'all. Oh. Y'all need to quit celebrating holidays. You want to get a little bird wizard on it? You need to quit celebrating holidays. You need to celebrate holy days. You see that word wizard? You see how they do you? Holidays, them's for the devil. For Easter, what, some kind of bunny? You celebrating some kind of bunny basket holiday? That ain't a holy day. That's a holiday. That's that old corporate dang media, man. That's so go get the green grass you don't need. Go buy the plastic green grass, get cancer from it. Have your kids all crying because they ain't got as much green grass as the other one got the green grass.
Holy moly. Tommy, I don't know what to say to you. I've seen a lot of people, like I've met many people in my life. I've walked a lot of walks up to this point in my life. But I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. ever. I don't know. I don't know what we're witnessing here with Illumitami. I have no clue. What the fuck is this? Unbelievable. Bearju says Tommy is worthless. Is he, Bearju, or is it the complete opposite? I, I don't know. Like, who the fuck just thinks, yeah, I'm just gonna do like a redneck alien character, turn my computer on, and just talk into a camera? Like, I have no. Yeah. Gigi Abby Lynn thinks he's funny. Gigi, would you sleep with Tommy under the right circumstances? Like, I asked what's up Cynthia yesterday if she would sleep with Tommy, and she said absolutely no way. But I'm gonna ask you, Gigi, and any other ladies out there. Like, would you like participate in that activity with Tommy? She says no. So you like him and he's funny, but you wouldn't go down that route. She said, but I'd let him entertain me. That's funny. Heidi says no. Heidi would not. It's all right, Tommy. Here's the funny part. I'm sure there's ladies that would. That's the weird part about certain things. I would venture that there's at least 2 or 3 ladies that show up at his chat that are pining away for my friend Illumitami. All right, let's get started with the damn show. We got to break the Tommy loop. So, like I said, Mr. Smith W., although you are highly fascinating, Mr. Illumitami still holds the trophy. And there's others, but to be fair, Mr. Smith W., Illumitami has a little help. You know, he has a little bump, from his, when he does his bumps. Actually, I think he smokes it. Allegedly, everybody, allegedly. But hey, what great man in modern history, hasn't used speed as some type of, for a little extra kick. Apparently, Mean Mr. Mustache was speeded up for like years on end as he was setting out to conquer the world. When I take a look at most of these presidents, I can imagine. I mean, look at Hillary Clinton. When she was on that campaign trail back in, I guess it was 2015, 2016, it seemed like they had that chick on all kinds of different substances to keep her going. I'd imagine Joe Biden's pretty much at this point just being puppeteered by his personal doctors. So who knows? He might be on to something, Tommy. He claims he conquered the stock market, like with the help of methamphetamine. That's what he says. Who knows? But either way, much love, Tommy. Who am I? Who am I to disparage you? I celebrate you, good sir, with all the love and respect that is due to one who embodies your illustrious and Christian-like presence. Because remember, he's a Christian. I keep telling him, I say, Tommy, you might want to drop the whole Christian rap because you're not really, giving the whole religion, a good look, so to speak. But no, he's sticking to it. He's sticking to the Christian thing. So More power to them. We support you, Tommy. I support you here on Z Show. Of course I do. Why wouldn't I? You are a gentleman and a scholar, a soothsayer and a seer, a man of renown. I salute you, good sir. We salute you here on Z Show. Of course we do. Let's get the show started. My friends, let's shed some light on the subject. Subject being me. The topic being you. Official opening commencing now. Good morning, everybody. Grand Rising, Grand Approach. Welcome back to Z Show. That's right. Z is me. I am the Zetetic Warrior. That's right. Zetetic. That means I ask questions. You get it? I don't just accept what they're telling me about this world. I'm like one of those guys. I'm pesky. I ask questions, and that's what we do here. And we're broadcasting live and in living color around the level horizontal realm called Earth. That's right, Earth. That's an anagram for heart. Don't think that's a coincidence. It's not. Boom. And we welcome all the sentient entities of this world. Not just humans, but the elves, the goblins, the gremlins, all those people, the minotaurs, all those weird reptilians, the mantids, the greys, the men in black, all you fucking weirdos. You're all welcome here. It's a goofy place. We are at the bottom of the rabbit hole and the end of the rainbow. Welcome, settle in. It's going to be a swimmingly good time. Much love. Guys and dolls, who's here? Let's greet the chat. Let's get to the top of the chat. Got to shout out the earliest listeners. They wake up early, but that's kind of cheating. For some of you, it's not early. Some of you, it's not early. Some of you, it's quite late. Sometimes I wish I had a map of like all, like the Z Show listeners, so I could see where everybody is around the level horizontal world. It'd be nice to know. I was like, oh, there's somebody listening to me here and there and there. But I know somebody's listening to me in the land of Italy because the first person this morning was Glyph. Buongiorno, good sir. Bear Jew, greetings and salutations. Da Freak in the house. He says, Bear Jew, are you a flat earther? I'll let Bear Jew answer the question. Open your eye, connect dots. Hey there to you, Jim Pelter. Much love. Joe Moore, shalom. Giving us some numbers. Random fan in the house. Good to see you. Noob from the land of the Aussies. Ruled by Saturn. Good day to you. Steph Davis, Grand Rising, lovely lady. Lovely lady. Braxton in the house. Braxton up early. Good to see you, young man, somewhere in time. Welcome. Rose 777 says, good morning to you. Rose D'Angelo coming at you. Tristan Laverack already said hi to you. Hi again, good sir. Solver Mist coming at us, doing his thing. Not really here. Well, you are here, but that's your name. Not really here. Much love. Who else is here? What's Rose saying? She says, thousands of years ago, the author of the biblical book of Job asked, canst thou bind the sweet influences, Pleiades, or loose the bands of of Orion? Nice quote there from the book of Job. Book of Job says a lot. What else is here? Gigi Ebulin, we already said hi to you, our number counting friend. John Thomas coming in with the men getting their own way. MGTOW icon. John Thomas has gone MGTOW. Let there be a listen, everybody. He's a married man and he's MGTOW. We've gone through his story. No need to recycle it here. People will say to guys like me and John, you're bitter and hurt. You're just bitter and hurt. You got screwed over. You want everybody to be miserable just like you. Okay, it could be that. Or it could be like we We touched the hot stove and we went, oh, it actually is indeed hot, like they all say. Like it burns. Like ouchie. My skin like fucking burned and it hurts. And I can't use my hand for a while. And then we tell other people. Now, see, when you touch that hot stove, it's going to do something to you. There's going to be consequences. So maybe don't touch the hot stove. I know this is a played out trope, but maybe some of you need to hear it. Because you want to say, oh, yeah, you're bitter hurt, bitter hurt. No, we know the consequences of touching said stove. We're relaying that information to you so you can learn from our experience so you yourself don't have to suffer the same consequences. But who knows? Maybe all learning is experiential, and I really can't teach you anything. You're going to have to learn from experience. I don't believe that's the way things are. But who knows? Just keep calling people like me and John bitter and hurt. If it makes you feel good, you just go ahead and do that. Who else is here, everybody? Who else? So many lovely guys and dolls. Morgan in the house, coming to us from Canada, everybody. Yeah. Yeah, people telling me about smoking versus edibles, etc., etc. But I'm sticking with it. Edibles is the more pleasurable experience. It just seems to be that way. And the rest. Too many to... Heidi, much love, Heidi. How are we today, Heidi? I don't want to focus on you. I don't want to rock the Heidi boat. You never know. You never know as I sit here, and I'm apparently supposed to be like intimately aware of the moment-to-moment emotions of all my female listeners. And I'm supposed to somehow sit up here, do a show that's informative and entertaining and otherwise, and also be able to monitor the emotions of all my lady listeners. Apparently that's what Heidi thinks I need to do. Or maybe I just need to monitor Heidi's emotions. I'm not sure. How am I supposed to do that, Heidi? Like I said to Cadence the other day, maybe if you can give me some kind of like message, like a signal, so like I know where you are in your emotions, maybe I'll do that. Am I going to have to pull up my emotions list again? Because Heidi, you know how I'm always saying that there's like really just 6 emotions? But now I'm realizing the basic 6 emotions are not going to do for you, Heidi. Even the 27 distinct emotions that they're telling me that there are, may not be enough. We may have to expand the list of emotions. So in Amash and Heidi, like I said, there's admiration, adoration, stuff like aesthetic appreciation. Heidi, how am I supposed to monitor your fucking emotional state when there's so many emotions and you seem to kind of like swing so violently and rapidly between these emotions? How am I supposed to keep track? Can we like get a meter? Maybe what I'll do, like in the corner of the screen here, we'll have like a fucking meter, and we're gonna just track Heidi's emotions every day. So just we all know how to treat Heidi. Not only me, for you guys in the chat. Can we do that, Heidi? Like we'll be like, oh, she's experiencing joy. Oh, now she's onto the emotion of nostalgia, which apparently is an emotion now. I don't know. Oh, triumph. Right? Can we have like a Heidi emotional meter just so I know how to interact with you? Oh, she's onto amusement. Oh, now it's calmness. Ooh, we've hit confusion. Watch out. See, I'm just reading off of something. You get it, Heidi? I realize now the basic 6 emotions are certainly inadequate. But just for you, though, it seems like. Let's see what she's saying. I can only imagine. Well, here we go. Here we fucking go. What are you saying, Heidi? My screen's all whack. Hold on a second, everybody. She says, I spoke to you about this. I'm not worried about them. It's the energy exchange between you and I. It's you and me. You're going to get mad about that? You're going to get angry? I just corrected your grammar. She says, just please stop putting my name with Cadence and Christy Lee. Just speak to me. I'm not them. That's your issue? That's your main issue? is that I'm putting you in the category of Christy Lee and Cadence. Unbelievable. Well, let me ask you this, Heidi. If we were to experience like a threesome, me, you, and either Christy Lee or Cadence, and you had to choose, which one would you choose? I know this is going to be tough for you because we know you ladies are just naturally always in competition with each other. It's natural. Do you care to answer the question? Like, if you had to choose the third option, I'm going to guess you're going to pick Christy Lee dolls. I'm not going to say who I would pick. I'm going to just, I couldn't pick. Oh, through those two choices, I couldn't do it. It'd be too tough because it'd be so, it'd be wonderful either way. But I'm just saying, who would you pick, Heidi? She said, yes, if you would have let me speak yesterday, you would have known that. Known what? Oh, that you're not angry. Well, you're not angry now, but like I said, as we're going to do the Heidi emotional fucking metric, we're going to monitor your emotions throughout the day. Oh, Heidi's reached excitement, envy now, entrancement. That's a weird emotion, entrancement. It's weird. Who decides this shit? I don't know. Just saying. All right, good. Christy Lee dolls. It's your lucky day. Heidi picked you. I don't know how Cadence is going to respond, but who knows? No, it's not you and I. Not in the way not in the manner that she was using it. Hey guys, here I'm going to give you, and I fuck up on this too, but I'm going to give you a hint. When you don't know whether to use you and me or you and I, what you just do is pretend like you're going to do the sentence without the you part. You get it? So let's say if you say, I don't know, you could say, can you and I go to the store? Or can you and me go to the store? Take out the you part and what would work? You would say, can I go to the store? Yeah. You wouldn't say, can me go to the store? You just got to take out the, whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. None of it fucking matters anyway. And I'm going to have to monitor my emotions. But I don't want the 27 emotions for me. I just want the 6 emotions. That's all. They don't even have anger as one of the 27 emotions. What do they have instead of anger? What do they have? Awkwardness? No. Disgust? That was one of the original 6. So was fear. Horror, interest, nostalgia, sadness. Wait a second. Z's calling bullshit because Psychology Today is telling me there's 27 emotions, but they don't include anger. This is what I'm talking about. Which would be the closest to anger? Admiration, adoration, aesthetic appreciation, amusement, anxiety, awe, awkwardness, boredom, calmness, confusion, craving, disgust, empathetic pain, entrancement, envy, excitement, fear, horror, interest, joy, nostalgia, romance, sadness, satisfaction, sexual desire, sympathy, and triumph. Where's anger? Are they saying there's no anger, that's just fear? Are they making emotions woke? Maybe sexual desire. I don't know. For some of us, sexual desire and anger might be kind of like the same thing. I'm just saying. Maybe somebody can answer that for me. I'm not sure. Either way, I've been yapping long enough. They're talking about Heidi, Cadence, fucking Smith W, Illuma Tommy. That's just it's overload. That's mental overload. Not only for me, but for fucking everybody involved in this insane endeavor this morning. It really is too much. The cast of characters is fucking way too much. So let's kind of breathe for a couple minutes. Let's step it back. Let's take account of the morning, the happenings, and let's take a moment to let's take a little musical interlude. Don't go anywhere, everybody. More Z Show coming up next. I have a nice little segment for you guys. Much love. Fuck. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Loving it. The scene was an old roadside cafe. The waitress sweeping the floor. Two truck drivers drinking their coffee. And two okie kids by the door. How much for them candies, they asked her. Well, how much have you got? She replied. Well, we've only 1 penny between us. Well, they're 2 for a penny, she lied. And the daylight grew heavy with thunder, with the smell of the rain on the wind. Isn't it just like a human? Here comes that rainbow again. Here it comes, everybody. That inverted rainbow. And the truck drivers cried at the waitress after the boys went outside. Hey, them candies, they ain't 2 for no penny. Yeah, what's it to you? She replied. Well, in silence, they finished their coffee. And they stood up, they nodded goodbye. She said, hey, you guys left way too much money. Yeah, what's it to you? They replied. And the daylight grew heavy with thunder, with the smell of the rain on the wind. Isn't it just like a human? Here comes that rainbow again. Isn't it just like a human? Here comes that rainbow again. Here comes that rainbow. We're waiting for that rainbow, lucky man. We're waiting for that covenant in the sky. This covenant that was made between the Almighty and these so-called humans, as you point out so eloquently in song. That's right. Where's that rainbow, everybody? Where is it? Lucky Haskins, everybody, coming at you. He is living legend. He's a man. He's a human. He's a myth. They don't make him like Lucky. He's a Rust Belt hero. Much love, Lucky. Check him out. Lucky Haskins, everybody. Well, the guys and dolls rolling in. I see you peeps there. All right, guys. Let's get into some stuff here. Who's ready to get into some stuff? Ready or not, we're going to do it. Z's ready to get into some stuff here. You need to cleanse the palate after that the insane presentation from Illumitami that we witnessed not long ago here. Just saying. Let's get into some stuff. I'm ready to get into some stuff. So when you guys hear me doing this, it's me behind the scenes, like getting my tabs and stuff ready. So I just go into some weird like state of I don't know, like unconscious meditation. I just talk to you guys as I'm like pulling stuff up in the background to get ready for the segment. That's usually what's happening. It's not helped by my my antiquated computer equipment, by the way, but it's doing the job. So we're making it work. That's what we do here. We make it work, everybody. All right, so let's get into it. Let's stop messing around. Are you guys in? Are you settled in? Does everybody have their morning coffee? Or if you're, I don't know, somewhere in fucking Australia or New Zealand, maybe your little nightcap. If you're having some tea. Well, if you're Australian, you're probably drinking, so you're probably wasted by now. But either way, whatever your beverage of choice is, whenever you're smoking, settle in, everybody, because we're going to get into it. Maybe some of you guys can still think. Maybe some of you guys still have, I don't know, the desire for truth. You're not just accepting a fantasy that's being presented to you through all mainstream pop culture. Maybe you guys are ready for a little bit of a real. Russ says, Z, do you ever use the new maps to find your articles for the news segment? Not sure what you mean by the new maps. Is that a website to find articles? I'm not sure. She says for the news segments, or is it news maps? Not sure, Rose. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin today's installment of the Z Files. This is where I need my intro music for Z Files. Bam, bam, bam. I don't know. I'll figure out some kind of intro for the Z Files segment. Because, you know, I come on here and I like to talk to you guys about science and reality, demonstrable reality. You know, the world that we experience, the world that we observe, the world that not only is observable, but measurable, testable, repeatable, actual reality. Not fantasy, not pretend, reality, the world we experience. Some people say to me, oh, Z, there is no objective reality. We're just making it up with our minds. Okay, I can get into that. We're conscious co-creators in this reality that we're participating in. We're all experiencing this in some way from an individualistic perspective, but that we're consciously and cooperatively contributing to this collective experience. I can get that. But can we not agree that there's a shared objective reality? That's how things function, you know? You don't think there's an objective reality. Anybody ever spend some time in a surgical department, in a surgical theater, surgical suite? Yeah, I have. When you're there and the knife comes out and somebody gets sliced open and you see all the stuff on the inside that's functioning, and then the doctor can fix the thing that was going wrong on the inside, you're reminded very quickly that there's a shared reality. You understand what I mean? We're participating in a physical world. One of my pet peeves lately is this tendency for some in these community to just bring everything to such a state of confusion and diffusion as to imply that it's just a dream as such, and there's not any shared experience here and no shared physical reality. I will retort, good sir or ma'am. Experience proves otherwise. Things can happen here. We are sharing an experience. If you are pricked, you will bleed. Let's get over that. So let's talk about this shared reality that we're experiencing here on Earth, what we say is Earth. So again, let's get into the Z files. Today I want to talk to you about this Earth that we live on. This Earth that they say is a planet. Just like all the other, quote unquote, other planets. See, that's what they're telling you. Earth is a planet, just like the quote unquote other planets. It's a claim. They keep telling you. It's a claim that goes against all of your observable, measurable experience. So, questioning minds like me are consistently putting this claim to the test. So let's put it to the test, everybody. I'm ready to do it. And today in the Z Files, I want to bring you the case of one Felix Baumgartner and his Red Bull jump. Now, many of you have heard about this. We're going to get into it. We're going to really get into it. I'm going to show you some things about this supposed Earth and this supposed globe that you're telling you live on. Because I want you to remember something about a globe, which is a sphere. A globe needs to show certain components, evidence certain aspects particular to a globe or a sphere. One is that it will have convexity, which is basically curvature in a three-dimensional domain. Well, we're going to use the case of Felix Baumgartner and his 2012 Red Bull jump to show, beyond the shadow of the doubt, that indeed there is no curvature and no convexity. Y'all ready to get into it? Uncle Bear Jew's ready to get into it. So let's get into it. Emmanuel says, I was talking about the Red Bull jump with my brother last night. Well, Emmanuel, you're going to want to show your brother this segment of Z show afterwards. Just saying. Strap in, guys. Well, let's get started. So Felix Baumgartner, he's an Australian skydiver, daredevil, and base jumper. And he's most widely known for the topic of today. For jumping to Earth from a helium balloon from the stratosphere on October 14th, 2020, and landing in New Mexico as part of what was called the Red Bull Stratus Project. See, Red Bull sponsored it. That's why it's called the Red Bull Jump, which is good for Red Bull. You can get marketing now forever. They sponsored this, apparently. Red Bull is just an energy drink. I'm sure almost everybody knows that, but I have to remind myself that I have listeners from all over. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what Red Bull is. In doing so, he set numerous world records for skydiving. All right. One, he reached an estimated top speed of 843.6 miles an hour, which is faster than the speed of sound, or Mach 1.2. And he became the first person to break this sound barrier outside of a vehicle. He also broke records for skydiving records for altitude, right, and free fall distance. He reached an estimated height of about 128,000 feet, give or take. Just think about that, 128,000 feet. Now let's put that into, let's say into a relative understanding. Your average commercial airliner flight that you take, you want to go anywhere, you jump on a plane, average commercial airliner, you're talking 25,000, 30,000, 35,000 feet, okay? It's typical cruising altitude. A lot of you guys remember, some of my older audience members will remember an airplane called the Concorde Now, the Concorde was a high-altitude, high-speed plane that was famous for taking people across the Atlantic very quickly. And that the Concorde was said to fly somewhere around, let's say, 50 or 55,000 feet cruising elevation. All right. Even more incredible is the military aircraft called the SR-71. Yes, the SR-71. It's a military aircraft the United States has that apparently can reach altitudes up to 80 or even almost 90,000 feet. Okay? This is all above sea level. Here, Mr. Felix Baumgartner took his helium-filled balloon and capsule up to 128,000 feet, exceeding even the SR-71 by some 40 or 30,000 feet in elevation. The only purported other increase in elevation that we could even show, other than the presentation of NASA and SpaceX, is these Blue Origin trips. These trips by Jeff Bezos and his likes, Richard Branson's company. They apparently are going maybe, they say, 300,000 feet, okay, above the Earth's surface. Some people say 60 miles, 62 miles, give or take. But here we have this man. I'm going to show you 128,000 feet above sea level. What that means. You still with me? Good. Let me share my screen for you guys here. Let's get this going. Come on, computer. The computer's like the little engine that could. It just keeps keeps chugging along. You guys can't see my screen. Let me bring it up so you guys can see it. All right. Let's begin. I want you guys to see the imagery on the screen as I explain what we're looking at. We're going to do this right, Emmanuel. That way you can show your brother or whoever you were discussing this last night. Very timely, good sir. Very timely. All right, so here we're seeing an image of inside the capsule at elevation. You can see the top of the screen where it says 127,501 feet above sea level. You can see the time it took him to get up there. It took him about 2.5 hours of ascending to get up there. Again, guys, it's a helium-filled balloon, plain and simple. Just a really complex and advanced one. But no different than a helium balloon that your little kiddos walk around with on their birthday or whatever. Simple technology. All right, so let's get into it. Again, inside the capsule. I want you to notice something. He slid the capsule door open, preparing for his ascent. I'm sorry, for his descent. I want everybody to look out the capsule door. What do you see? You see the horizon. Not only do you see the horizon, but you see a level and horizontal horizon. You also see a horizon that is rising or sitting right at eye level. It's at the level of the camera, which is eye level. Please note this horizon. All right, he's about to jump out. Same horizon. Thumbs up, Felix. Thumbs up. Here's the picture that was shown in all the mass media headlines of the day. I want you to juxtapose the horizon we just witnessed from inside the cabin to the horizon we're seeing through this image from a camera that was positioned outside of the craft. See a difference here? That's right. No longer do we see that same level horizon, but we see a horizon that shows quite a bit of curvature. This is the image that people will point to say, look, Z, you dumb flurf, flat earther. Look at the horizon. It's curved. Felix Baumgartner went 128,000 feet above sea level. Look at that curve, Z. You're an idiot. And then I kind of say back to them, well, yeah, you're right. I'm seeing a curved horizon, but I want you to take a look at the land underneath him. You see the river? Kind of like to the left portion of the screen, running from the bottom left portion of the image up towards his helmet. See that river? Do you see the geography of the land? Do you see the physical features? That's New Mexico, everybody. What do you mean, Z? What's your point? My point is, based off this image, yeah, you're seeing a curved planet, so to speak. You're seeing planet New Mexico, everybody. Do I need to explain it more? Yeah, but let me explain it more. When you use a fisheye lens, it will show curvature. Because if indeed we were seeing the actual curvature of the Earth and not the curvature brought upon by the fisheye lens in regards to the horizon, you'd be seeing Earth as New Mexico. You get it, guys? You're not seeing the curvature of the physical geographic horizon. You're seeing curvature on the image taken from a fisheye lens. Plain and simple. But interestingly enough, this is the image that was shown through all mass media in regards to this. Was this one? Not the previous image. This one here from inside the capsule. It shows a perfectly level and horizontal horizon. Let me point this out to you guys too. Just a little similarity between the two words I just used. Horizontal and horizon. You kind of get it? Do you think maybe those two words possibly were derived from the same etymology? So we're going to debunk the horizon curvature right away by pointing to you that if that were the actual geographical horizon, Earth would basically be the size of a small portion of the southwestern United States. Do you get it, guys? Yeah. Maybe some of you get it. The other thing I want to point out is picture the Earth curvature shown from the ISS when they show us those, apparent videos from the International Space Station. We're seeing more supposed curvature here at about 20 or 21 miles above the Earth's surface than they show us on the ISS, which is apparently 250 miles above the Earth's surface, right? It's obvious. Curvature we're seeing here is simply the result of a fisheye lens. Plain and simple. Oh, you guys want more? That wasn't enough? You want more? All right, we'll continue. Again, look at the river, right? You're not looking at Earth curve. You're looking at a wide-angle picture of New Mexico, plain and simple. All right, now we get to the money shot. Look who we have here, guys. It's our old friend, Mr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. See this guy? Anybody who doesn't know, that's Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's basically like the go-to guy when it comes to try to, for academia, to defend this supposed globe. And here he is, presenting in front of an audience. All right? We're going to let him take it from here, and then I'll be back in a few seconds.
They make sure to photograph him standing there with a really wide-angle lens, which curves horizontal lines. Right. So in the photo, you see this curvature of Earth's.
All right, so he's talking about the image that we were just looking at, this Felix Baumgartner
surface, and he said, "Wow, he's in space. Look at that." No, he's not. At that height, you don't see the curvature of the Earth if you are 2 millimeters above this beach ball. You just don't. That stuff is flat.
All right, Globies, so I don't expect you to believe your buddy Z here this morning as he explains this to you, but will you at least believe your high priest of globe science and academia, Mr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, when he tells you what I was just telling you, that at 128,000 feet above sea level, which he is basically comparing to 2 millimeters above that beach ball globe he had, that at that level, indeed, as he says, that stuff is flat. Do we need to hear him say it again? Just to reiterate? Yeah, let's do it again.
See, you don't see the curvature of the Earth if you are 2 millimeters above this beach ball. You just don't. That stuff is flat.
Okay, so as Neil deGrasse Tyson reinforces what I'm telling you, and what indeed I basically come here each and every morning and tell you that stuff is flat, good sir. Now, even more interesting to me, based off what he said, is this idea. Because people say to me, Z, I can see the curvature. Well, that's interesting because he's telling you right here that you can't see curvature at 20 or 21 miles at elevation, 128,000 feet. So how come people say, well, Z, I took a plane. I went to Florida on a plane, 35,000 feet, 30,000 feet, 25. I saw curvature. Really? Because he's telling you can't see curvature at 28,000 feet. I showed you an image from the cockpit of a level horizontal horizon at 28,000 feet. There's no curvature. But you want to tell me you saw it on a plane at 25,000 to 35,000 feet? Does that math work out? Of course not. I have people that try to tell me they could see curvature from the shoreline looking out over the ocean. So you're telling me you can see curvature from the ground. But here, the high priest of scientism is telling you you do not see curvature at 128,000 feet above sea level. So if you can't see it at sea level, if you can't see curvature from a commercial air flight, if you can't see it from the Concorde airplane at 55,000 feet, if you can't see it from the SR-71 military plane at 75, 80, or even 90,000 feet, and you can't see it at 128,000 feet, then where's this supposed curvature? Where is it? Oh, that's right. Oh, the ISS pictures. That's right. The ones from NASA that show me that there's Earth curvature, but it's 250 miles above Earth's surface. Yeah, that's where it is. Gotcha. All right. All right. Interesting people. Let's continue. Now we're back in the cockpit where we started off at elevation with Mr. Felix Baumgartner. There's our horizon again when he opens it. Not only are we noticing that the horizon is level and horizontal, flat, but I want you to notice where the horizon line is in relation to this image. Let's continue. Now I want you to look at this image. This is from the ground, 10 feet elevation. Get it? He's on the ground. You can see the ground, whatever that is. All right? It's obvious. This is when he was entering the capsule. Notice the horizon line is the exact same place as it was on the ground as it was at 128,000 feet above sea level. But what's your point, Z? What's your point, Z? My point is, if you lived on a globe that they say is 24,901 miles in circumference at the equator, by necessity, as you increased in elevation, the horizon would drop. It would not remain at eye level. We see being demonstrated here very clearly that there is no change in the horizon line. It remains at the level of the observer, which in this case is the camera, obliterating any possibility that you live on a globe. Let's continue. See it? Now we're back up at elevation, 128,000. The horizon line remained the same. It would be impossible on a sphere. See it again and again. No movement. The horizon remains at eye level at the highest elevation we could imagine. I keep telling you every single morning, over and over again, you do not live on a globe because the globe is impossible based off all observable, testable, measurable reality. Plain and simple. I don't care how big the lie is. I don't care how many people would have to be in on it. I don't care if the lie is too big, too grand for you to comprehend it, to accept it. That matters not. Here we go again with the demonstration. This is just the ground level. As you rise from ground level, viewing this skyscraper, you will see the horizon line remains steady. It stays at the level of the observer. This is indisputable. This works if you're looking at a small scale elevation, like we're seeing here with the skyscraper, or up to 128,000 feet. All right. This is showing, examples I'm showing here this morning are showing that what we call the horizon is indeed not a physical phenomena. It is apparent. Horizons are apparent. They're based on your perspective. And the reality is that horizons will generally remain at eye level no matter the observer's elevation. Now, there may be some obstruction from atmosphere. That's why I say the horizon will generally remain at eye level, because atmospheric conditions can change the horizon. It can obscure and obstruct the horizon. Things like haze, moisture, miraging, dust particles, the location of the sun. There's certain factors and conditions that exist in this atmosphere that can affect the horizon. Meaning to say, if you took a camera and you put it across a body of water and you left it there all day, you would notice the horizon line may indeed change based off conditions. Again, another proof showing that you're not looking at a physical or geographical horizon line. The horizon is based off your perspective. It's apparent. It comes down to the law of perspective, which involves the principles of convergence and divergence. The image will converge to a central focal point. That's how perspective works. It's plain and simple. When you're looking at this world, you have to understand optics, how vision works. You have to understand optical phenomena. It's just the way we see things. No more, no less. This is just some images of how they launched him off in his capsule, just to give you an idea. All right, so again, to reiterate, at ground level, the horizon, there it is. And again, the horizon at elevation. At all times, level, horizontal, and there's no change in horizon. The horizon does not drop at elevation. It remains at eye level in regards to the perspective of the observer. This is fact. This isn't theory. When I discuss this topic, I'm showing you all facts. These are phenomena. The phenomena says that there is a horizon. I should say the phenomena shows a level horizontal horizon that does not move from eye level at great elevation. Plain and simple. And I will reiterate, there is no globe. You do not live on a spinning sphere in space because it is impossible. The model given to you, the model conditioned into your consciousness from day one, the model that has been promoted for 500 years at least and pushed and advanced in the last 150 years through popular academia is impossible. When you say to me, Z, what does it matter? Because it could either be a globe or flat. I say to you, no, you are wrong. Because something cannot be an impossibility. And this insane, crazy globe that they keep telling you that you live on is an impossibility. Plain and simple. And now here we have a model, an illustration of what it would look like. On the left, is an example of everything I just explained. At 24 miles, I said 21 earlier, at 24 miles, which is 126,000 feet above sea level, right about where he was, you see on the left image here what the horizon should look like if you lived on a globe. Notice it has dropped significantly below eye level, because if you lived on a globe with a geographic horizon, it would drop down as you elevate, because when you elevate, you can see further. It would look like what you see on the left. You would see the convexity, you would see the drop, but that's not what we experience in reality, because in reality, we see the image on the right. You see a horizon that remains at eye level, that remains perfectly level and horizontal. The case is closed on the globe. We're at a point now where the evidence is irrefutable and indisputable. The only thing holding the globe together in the heliocentric model is people's belief in the lie. It only exists in fantasy. It only exists in sci-fi movies. It only exists in science fiction magazines. It only exists on your TV screen through their fake news presentation. It only exists in the halls of this bullshit academia that has been propped up by these elite bloodline psychopaths to deceive you and everybody else. The powers that shouldn't be know exactly what I'm saying. I'm just telling you what they already know, what they've been hiding from you for years. Plain and simple. I don't care if you believe me, facts are facts. Anyway, that'll do it for today's Z Files. Much love, everybody. Hey, Emmanuel, I hope that's going to work for you when you present that to your to your brother. I hope that'll work for you. And just for my loyal listeners, I'm taking these and I'm clipping all these segments out, and they will be presented in a series aptly termed the Z Files, and you'll be able to find those here. Look who's here. It's B Warrior. Heidi, what's up with B? Is B Warrior like now like trolling me or something, Heidi? Because I can't pay attention to like all my listeners, but like the last couple days, it's like Bobby, like if you're gonna troll me, like come on, at least troll me to my face. Like I know you're pissed off because I'm pointing out like what a fucking amazing simp you are. And here's the thing, Heidi, I think Bobby's upset because I pointed out to him. Yeah, Heidi's agreeing with me. Because Bobby, you're in your feelings because I pointed out to you how absurd it was that you thought you were in a relationship with Bex Factor. And then she fucking basically like broke your heart in front of the metaverse. And then you simped out in front of everybody. And you're pissed at me because I pointed it out. He said he quit smoking. You quit smoking cigs, Bobby? Bob, get up. Links in the chat, everybody. Bob, hit the fucking link, Bobby. Just hit the Bob. If you don't come up today, like I'm gonna just 86 you out of my world. Like it'll be fine. Like no hard feelings, but you'll just get 86 from the Z show because now you're kind of pissing me off a little bit. But he says he quit smoking. Did you really quit smoking, Bob? We saw you in a video last week. You were smoking. I think he's losing it. He's showing some degree of senility. Let's talk to me, audience. What's going on with Graphic says, this is crazy. I came here daily looking for this explanation. I finally get it. Well, Graphics, why don't you come up and talk to me about it, man? That's kind of cool to hear. It's hard to communicate over chat. I don't know. You might be just trolling me. I'm not understanding, but it could be either one. You could be trolling me. He says, too sick. Oh, he's sick from quitting cigarettes. So I don't care if you're sick, Bobby. Just come up and be sick. No one fucking cares. But yeah, Heidi, that's the thing. Bobby's like, he's upset because I call him out on being a simp. He knows I was right. I was proven right. And now he's fucking pissed off because Bex dumped him on his old ass keister. Now he's pissed. He's quitting cigarettes. It's going to be hard for you to quit, Bob. You're 75 years old. You appear to be smoking like a chimney. But you can do it, man. Hopefully you don't go into some like withdrawal or some fucking detox. All right, so here's what Graphics' response is to me. Typical Globey. Nah, I'm good. Space travel will be commonplace in 20 years and this discussion will be null and void, right? So that's your response, Graphics. I'm presenting something to you and your response is the potential of space travel and how you're assuming it will be commonplace in 20 years. That's your logic, good sir? Very fucking sad. Very fucking sad. It's too bad for you, man. I'm sorry that's your mindset. It's kind of insane. Generally insane. Graphics, I can't have this conversation with you over the chat, dude. It's not going to work. Like that's not I don't know. Maybe the chatters can talk to you, good sir. But the fact that you can come here each morning with that insane level of cog dis, like a lively conversation would be welcome, Graphics. But for you, like to just say, well, because space travel assumedly will be commonplace in 20 years, this is mood art. Do you know they've been saying that for like fucking 100 years, dude? You understand that, right? That they've been saying that space travel was right around the corner 100 years and still not here. You get that, right? Can you just please talk to this guy in the chat? I don't blame you, Graphics. Like, how could you? Graphics, it's easy to be you. Do you understand? It's easy for you to just go along with the common narrative. So you can come here and just use consensus and appeals to authority to try to say I'm basically a fucking deluded moron. He said, your logic is restricted to field of view. Really fucking sad. Degenerate levels. I don't know if that makes me degenerate, dude. But field of view? So you're basically trying to minimize my whole outlook on this topic to the one presentation that I did today. That's what you're doing. So you're trying to show the one thing I showed today and say that it encompasses the totality of my understanding on the subject. Interesting. And people are weird. But like I said, it's not going to work here on chat. Well, by Saturn says he's an idiot, Z. People love to be fucked mentally. Well, an idiot or not, I mean, you said that, but you know, people wake up. What happens, Ruled by Saturn, is people wake up on the wrong side of the bed, so they do the easy thing. He's backstage smiling because he knows I'm right. They wake up like pissed off at their life. So what they do is, instead of just like listening, trying to have rational discourse and discussion, they throw slings and arrows from the chat to try to basically exercise some of the demons they're carrying around with them. Because it's easy to do when you have literally the whole world supporting your understanding. Fucking weird, man. Heidi says they love their balls. Mind the Gap says maps work, models do not. Yep. I see Graphics. Hold on. Take it easy. Toilet Bowler says, I got some slings. I don't know about arrows. Oh, and then he leaves because I don't bring him up in 2 seconds. Okay, much love, dude. I'm not sure we would have been in for a very engaging conversation anyway. He fucking ran away. Rubai said and says, yeah, possibly, but he's shown his stupidity more than once in chat. I don't know if it's stupidity. Listen, here's the thing, Rubai Saturn. You know, idiot, stupidity, you know, that's not maybe the approach we want to take. I'm just saying that it's definitely not. Look how you tried to start it. Well, graphics, why did you run away? As I'm about to bring you up, you fucking run away, dude. So what? You don't have the balls to come look my audience in the face? You fucking run away, dude? Come on, I came up. I'm still here. Where'd you go, dude? Where'd you go, dude? You're the one who ran away, not me. This is a talk show. You realize that, right? He said you started talking shit immediately. Oh, I started talking shit. You called me a degenerate because of my understandings regarding the cosmology. He said, don't even let me up. As I was about to bring you up. See, this is the disingenuous nature of people like you, graphics, because I'm actively, and everybody can see, putting the link in the chat. As soon as you popped up backstage, I acknowledged you. I said, you're backstage, hold on, I'm going to bat you up. But you're so emotionally triggered that you're now just going to lie to a bunch of people who are witnessing the truth because you're triggered. Because the information that I present and that you choose to consume each morning is challenging your identity. Oh, let me let him up real quick before, God forbid, he leaves. I hit the button as fast as I could there, graphics.
Right, yeah, you didn't have to do a bunch of comments about laughing and smiling and all that. Cool. That's
right,
cool.
I didn't have to do, like, I'm going to let you produce my show for, like,
Good on you. Good on you, buddy.
What's your issue, man? What's your triggered issue, dude?
Not triggered. Got no issue. I just think this discussion is dumb.
Okay. Please enlighten us. Why do you think it's dumb?
I've been here for days looking for you to give some sort of usable explanation because I thought that you might actually have it. Usually you just deflect and, you know, but today you did. And it's
I deflected. Hold on. So each morning when I take at least a half hour out of my show to present things like this that you apparently are watching over and over again, you're telling me that I'm not bringing any information and that I'm deflecting. You're literally contradicting yourself in the very same sentence.
You say something that says, yeah, this is actually, here you go. Here's video evidence. Here is my proof. This is the first time I've seen you do it. Now, I don't catch all your shows, so maybe I missed something. I don't know. But this was it, you know. Then you show the shot of this guy with a restricted field of view through this capsule, then a complete shot. It's from a completely different perspective, completely different lens, probably a completely different camera, completely different field of view, completely different focal point. All of these things you don't discuss.
Dude, you see how triggered you are, man. Let me ask you something.
Man, she deflects to triggering.
I'm not deflecting. I'm trying to have a conversation.
Being triggered instead of answering.
You didn't ask me a question.
How do you explain circumpolar stars?
You didn't ask me a question.
How do you explain circumpolar stars?
How do you explain circumpolar stars in your globe?
I asked you. So you asked. I asked you a question. You asked me back.
No, because I'm not claiming a model. I'm saying your model's bullshit.
That doesn't get you out of anything, dude.
How do circumpolar stars prove or disprove anything? All right, let me put it like this. Whether the Earth is moving or the sky is moving, wouldn't we see the same presentation of these circumpolar stars?
No, because there wouldn't be. Why there wouldn't even? How would a circumpolar exist without poles?
Because circumpolar is a name, not a phenomena.
No,
a human gave. Man, your logic is completely absent.
What are you talking about? Circumpolar.
I'm just going to let you go.
Polar is in the word, dude.
Well, you have to know you're embarrassing yourself, dude. This is why nobody defends the globe. Graphics. This is why nobody defends the globe in academia, because it's indefensible.
Sure.
You're actually looking foolish this morning, but I'm going to let you continue.
Now, keep telling me how I'm looking foolish without actually answering anything.
Okay. You didn't ask me. You asked me about circumpolar stars. Can you frame a question in a way that I can answer it?
Why can I see different constellations in the southern hemisphere than I can in the northern. That's what a circumpolar star is. What is that? What is that?
Right, that's a different question. You just went from circumpolar stars to the southern hemisphere. So which
No,
question would you like me to answer?
You know what circumpolar stars are?
Yes, they're the
Okay, what are
stars. They're the stars that we observe that are moving around the North Star, which is called Polaris. I know. One of them is the constellation of Ursa
Okay.
Major, and others.
Why
They
do
are the
they
circumpolar
differ? Why do
stars.
they differ in the southern hemisphere versus the northern?
Okay, you're asking me why you can't, because you can't see those circumpolar stars in the southern hemisphere. You and I both know that.
Right, but it's flat, right? Why
Right,
is there
so-
even a southern
so
hemisphere? Why
How's
are
this?
we
Why are you
hunting-
assuming that you could just see things forever? When you get
Because you
sufficiently
can.
when you get sufficiently far from an object, as I've been showing you with perspective, you can no longer see it. Maybe I'm saying maybe you don't see the northern stars from the southern hemisphere because they're too far away. Did you ever think of that?
Yeah, they're too far away. So if I put a glass lens that is concave inside of a tube in front of my eye, which is also just another lens with receptors behind it, now modifying my eye so that it can see further. But I still can't see those stars. I can't see
Right.
the sun that's
Because
supposed to
as I've
exist on the
shown-
flat Earth all the
As
time.
I've shown, who says you can just see forever? Do you know we have something called atmosphere? I'm sure you like that word because it has a
Yes,
sphere
of
on the
course
end of
we
it,
do.
right?
Of course.
What
we
is
do.
composed in the atmosphere? What composes
That is-
atmosphere?
It's like what? Mostly nitrogen.
Okay. It has what? Gases. It has air particles, right? It has
Yeah.
particles of matter.
Yeah.
It also has things like dust. It has
You
things
know what
like
else is weird about it?
moisture.
It decreases
You're just
with
going to talk
altitude.
over me? You're just going to
Decreases with
talk over me?
altitude.
You're just going to
Yes.
talk over me?
Yes.
Right, you are. So you're just assuming that you could just see forever through atmosphere when I'm telling you,
And you're
that
assuming
over-
you can't.
no, I'm not assuming anything. I just
Sure.
know you can't see forever because demonstrably you can't.
Right.
I'm going to put it like this. Can you see through a window pane?
You've already done this analogy, and that works.
I'm
great
asking you a
for
question, but
glass.
maybe not everybody heard it. Can you
For
see through a
glass?
window pane?
Sure. Now you stack a bunch
Can
together. You can't see through it.
right? Glass is particles. Can you see through 100 window panes stacked up? No, you
Right.
can't. It's opaque.
Can you see through 100 photographic
It's
quality lenses
analogy,
stacked on
good
it?
sir. You can't see forever because you're looking through
Can you
particles
see
of
through
air. Do you
100
understand?
photographical lenses
If
stacked
you're just
end
going to
end?
talk over me, we can't have this
I'm
conversation.
trying to wait
You
for
understand?
you to stop, but you won't.
Graphics, you are obviously triggered. You're evidencing what I show each morning.
Sure.
You're all over the place. You're jacked up. You're gyrating.
Right.
Your voice. Here's what we're gonna do.
Right.
We're gonna look at the emotions. I'm gonna ask you some emotions. I want you to try to.
No, we're
Um,
not going through your bullshit. Z, answer some fucking questions, dude.
Oh,
Don't
so
try to
you
be
want me to
flat
do what you do?
towards it. If I
So
stack
you want me
100
to bring you down an
photographic lenses
illogical
end to
road?
end, can I see through them? What is the difference between photographic lens material and glass?
You guys see this guy? Hold on, dude.
Idiot.
You are really emotionally triggered, man.
Because
have to
what
see
you're
that.
saying is just so stupid.
What
It's
I'm saying is
unfathomable.
challenging. It's unfathomable because you look through this world through a particular paradigm
Hey,
that you
Z,
don't
hey, Z.
understand has been conditioned for
Right.
you. That's why
Yes.
you're triggered.
You're
They
enlightened.
use
You're enlightened.
graphics.
You're
They
enlightened. Everybody else
used
is-
your they
I get
used
that
your
part.
emotions,
No,
and
I
that's
get
why
that
your
part.
emotions are triggered by
You're
the
enlightened.
subject.
Everybody else is not. We get it. What else though? Like what actual proof do you have?
What
You're
proof do
using-
you have of the
basically-
globe? That's the point. Are you going to make me shelf you because you won't let me talk?
I
'cause you
don't
asked me a
care what
question?
you do, honestly.
Because you're not involved in the conversation. You're
There-
reacting
it's not
emotionally.
worthy of being involved
You're-
in. You
you're
asked me to come up here.
You're tantruming, graphics. You're
Sure.
a grown man who's tantruming.
Sure.
Everybody can
Right.
see it.
I don't care.
And everybody can see it. I don't
Uh,
fault
hey,
you for
hey,
it.
So what? Do you want to dwell on that now, or do you want to move past?
No, because it's quite obvious, dude. It's important to
So
say
you want
that.
to dwell on it?
Dude, you're assuming you could just see forever. You can't just see forever, dude.
No, I'm assuming
Who
that
told
with
you-
implements.
Who told you
You
can
can
see
see.
forever? Whether it's a
far
star, whether
can
it's
you
the
see,
sun
buddy?
going away, whether it's a building.
How far
the
can you
type-
see, buddy?
You're the type of guy. Well, it depends on the atmospheric conditions. Do you know
Oh.
the horizon changes depending on atmosphere? Do you know that?
Oh no, enlighten me.
I'm talking about things that if you take if you stand, okay, with a lens and a camera or a telescope or whatever, and you look across the ocean, okay, if you leave it there over time, you will see that the horizon changes. It goes up and down because that is not a physical horizon. The fact that it changes shows that it is an apparent horizon based on a number of factors, not only your perspective, but also the conditions of the atmosphere. The horizon is not, nobody who defends the globe is, even now, will still stick to your point and try to claim a geographic horizon. Nobody will do it because it's indefensible. It's provably not. So the point is, you can't see forever because the angular resolution of optics brings it to a point where you just can't see forever. Things converge to a focal point. Hold on. As that, think of that as visual information. As that visual information converges to a focal point, it becomes obscured and diffuse. You just can't see forever because of how optics work in this 3D reality. Study non-Euclidean geometry when you want to look at optics.
Okay.
There is a convergence and divergence into a focal point. It's plain and simple.
Exactly.
You can't see forever because in this reality, you can't see forever. So when you say to me, when people say to me, Z, how come I can't stand at the Atlantic Ocean and look over and see the Eiffel Tower? It's not because of Earth curvature. It's because you can only see so far. It's plain and simple. So when you ask me why you can't see the northern stars and the circumpolar stars from the so-called southern hemisphere, it's because you could only see so far. Plain and simple, dude.
Oh, so when I take my telescope and I put it in my backyard, or let's say I go out to the dunes on the edge of Lake Michigan and I look at Wisconsin through my telescope, can't see that with my naked eye, but on the right day, with it being clear, with my scope, I can.
Right.
So
it increases it because you're.
Something? Can I say something? Can I have
go ahead, say it. You're just increasing the angular resolution. You still can't see infinitely. You're increasing the angular resolution.
You talk about focal point. You talked about all this stuff. What I've done with that lens is I've increased that distance because I've just added a separate lens on top of my already existing lens in my eye.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what is your point?
You've
increased the distance.
That distance.
You still can't see forever because you're looking through an atmosphere, man. That's just the way it is,
I can definitely see far enough to see what would be required. What is it supposed to be? 3,000 miles, 6,000 miles for the sun on the FLIRF model, which, by the way,
so you're presenting a model that I didn't say. Did I just give you a model? No, you just presupposed a model that you think I hold. Do you understand
how you flat earthers are so all over the place? I don't know what the number is. What is the number?
Does anybody want to? I think that Mr. David Weiss might be here right now. Rose probably called him in. Do you want him to explain to you what I'm explaining to you? Look, Rose is laughing. Do you want Mr. David Weiss to explain to you what I'm trying to explain to you?
Why do you need somebody else here to explain something for you?
I don't.
I mean, what are you? You're seeing through an.
I don't. I do it to you every morning. Graphics. I present these things to you each and every morning. You come here. You're particularly triggered today. If you review the interaction you and I just had, you're probably not going to feel very good about it, sir.
I don't
care. You're just really emotionally. It's not your fault.
I don't care.
They indoctrinated you through your emotions. This is your response here is exactly how you were programmed to respond.
Right.
Because my information challenges the very foundation of your identity.
It's so important to everybody, like the 100 people on the planet that are concerned about NASA.
You're not interested in where you live and the fact that you're being lied to on such a massive level that it's beyond comprehension.
The lies that are really being told are governmental, and you know the things that are being controlled with are way beyond as stupid as trying to make us think we live on a globe versus a flat plane, which has zero effect on anything really that happens on this planet.
Well, let me ask you.
The average intelligence level of a person here doesn't even give a shit.
I'm gonna let you just spiral.
Right.
And just keep evidencing the emotional. Not that you're a bad person, but you're evidencing exactly why they've done this.
Right. Okay.
Because you're doing the easy thing. You're coming up here and you're using a litany of logical fallacies, including an appeal to authority, an appeal to consensus, a begging the question fallacy, presuppositions galore. You're using ad
Right.
homs. You're
Sounds like
demonstrating
you're just using a bunch of big words to say that you don't know how to fucking explain this shit properly. There's no working flat Earth model. There's no agreement
You're just going to keep
amongst the community.
links in the chat for
Didn't they
anybody who
just
wants to
give one of you
join.
flat Earth guys like some crazy gyroscope, and he ended up
The
proving that it was curved?
links in the chat for
Weird.
anybody who wants to join
Weird.
as this man spirals.
See, no response now. No response.
How am I supposed to respond to your scattergunning, insane questions?
One
dude?
response. What about the guy that just proved the curve of the other flat Earth guy? That they just, I don't even know the guy's name because it's not worth it. But what about the guy that just proved curvature with some kind of expensive ass gyroscope that they donated or some shit?
How am I supposed to answer the insane, nonsensical question you just asked? Can you try again, please? Please ask a question that I could respond to.
They just
links in the
gave one of
chat
flat
to
Earth
join
guys
the
a
panel.
gyroscope. And now see, then you talk over when I mean, you won't even let me ask a question.
Go ahead. Floor's yours. You're talking about the gyroscope. Are you talking about a laser gyroscope?
You know what the fucking question is, dude. Quit
No, I
playing
don't.
games.
I don't know the question. Are you talking about a laser gyroscope, or are you talking about the traditional gimbal gyroscope? Do you really want to get into gyroscopes and how they prove a level horizontal Earth? Do you really want to get into that?
Yeah, I want to get into how the flat Earth guy that's like one of the main guys in the flat Earth community.
Oh,
just
really?
did
Like
all
this?
shit.
Oh, really? Like this guy who I'm just going to bring up?
Hey, what's your name, guy on the stream? What's your name? I want to explain something to you.
Just give the explanation. You don't need my name.
All right, can you see my screen?
Hold on, Dave. Let me increase it, Dave.
Let me get
in
in front of my computer so I can see it.
Okay. So you're while you're doing that, you're all over the place. You keep moving the target of what you're talking about. So the one thing you were talking about is why can't we see Polaris? And the answer is because it's too far away. Now, it's not terrestrial vision and celestial vision are two different things. So a star, any light in the sky, sun, moon, and stars, they're celestial objects. They are above the atmosphere. We could all agree on that. Okay. And we all agree that things go into the distance. I'm just trying to pull up my OBS here. Things go into the distance and they become eye level. So here we have a perspective grid. Here's a guy looking down, and that line is his eye line, and that's where he sees the horizon. I throw a mountain in front of him. Now, you and I can agree that that mountain is thousands of feet above his head in theory. If it was real, it's just an illustration, but this is how life works, and you can do it. Go out and stand in front of a house, and that house is above your eye line, right? So
yes.
So here's the sun, and the sun is just going away. It's not going down. Now, right there, as the sun went past that mountain, is the sun below the horizon, or is it just beyond the mountain?
I mean, it would be beyond the mountain.
Thank you. Right. And you could prove this by one, going up. If you had a magic balloon to lift you up, you could see it. Or let's pretend there's 100 miles of farms behind you, and you walk backwards. And if you walk backwards, that mountain is going to get smaller and smaller, and it's going to fill the whole foreground. And now it's going to look like that. And now you can see the sun because you have a better perspective angle on it. Okay. So that horizon, that underneath the sun, the top of that mountain is thousands of feet above that viewer's eye line. So now we're going to move the sun farther away. And what does it do again? Does it go below a horizon, or does it go beyond the mountain? Now it gets worse. I'm not even going to let you, just let me finish. So now we add the clouds in there. The clouds are directly above his head, and the clouds in the distance are all merging into that horizon. So as we move the sun away, which is above the atmospheric deck, right? Whether there's clouds or not, the atmosphere becomes opaque over distance. It goes not only beyond the mountain, which is thousands of feet above his eyes, it goes beyond that cloud horizon, which is thousands of feet above the mountain. So now I ask you, did that sun go below a ball Earth, or did it just go beyond the mountain and cloud horizon?
I mean, I guess it would be that this is the entire argument, right? I
So,
mean, I
so
don't.
that this is just showing you how this is not a theory. This is not flat Earth or globe Earth. This is how we see. This is how perspective works. So I just showed you that the sun went beyond a double horizon. If those mountains weren't there, the atmospheric deck would be there. It would goes beyond that atmospheric deck. If you go in an Olympic-sized swimming pool that's perfectly pristine, clear water, and you look from one end to the other, you can't see the wall on the other side because it becomes opaque over distance. The atmosphere is the same thing. Okay. So we can't see too far. We can't see farther. Now, going to your other thing, globers that have been at this forever, full time, trolling us forever, they can't come up with a globe proof, but flat earthers can. So you want to bring up a Netflix hit documentary, Behind the Curve, where we've gone over it a million times. You just don't want to see the answer, where they edit it and make it look like we proved the globe when in fact we did not. The ring laser gyro measured about a 15 degree per hour rotation of something. And Bob made a comment to the producer who took that comment and put it in a movie. But he left out the other comment that were like, what is it that's moving? Is it the earth? Is it the sun? And so they did another experiment where they went up at the same latitude to Pikes Peak, I believe it was, and they measured again, and there was a significant difference. Now, if you understand the experiment and how the ring laser gyro works, that undisputably proves that it is the sky that is moving and not the earth. Okay, you can look deeper into that later, and then you can retract your belief that this is a proof. And then and you'll probably also comment on the laser experiment in that video where Jaron had 3 pieces of plywood with a hole leveled, and they were leveled to a canal. And when they were going to use a laser, but the laser condenser that makes the laser not spread out melted, so they couldn't even use laser. So they tried it with a light, and they held the light, and the guy says, "I can't see it." And then Jaron says, "Hold the light higher," and the guy reaches his arm up. Now, how long is your arm? Is it 3 feet or is it 27 feet? Because when he held it up, the guy said, "Oh, I can see it." And that's where they ended the movie. Well, if the earth was a globe, he'd have to hold his arm up 27 feet, I believe, for them to see it. But he was able to see it at just 2 or 3 feet, right? Then he brought the camera, this is all off the film. He brought the light back down and they could see it again. So in reality, you could walk away from that going, that proves there's no curvature. But everyone walked away and said there were so many variables that proved nothing. But you want to run with, they proved the globe. And then your last thing is, why does it matter? Why the frig does it matter? What if this world is so much more than they're allowing you to see, allowing you to have? Free energy, more land, probably, your position in the universe, in this realm, the true power that you have, right? For you not to be able to see that, they have you exactly where they want you. You are lost in the sauce and you don't realize what's important. I did the same thing. I was you. I laughed at flat earthers. I mocked them. I said boats over the horizon, seasons, sunsets. And then I looked, and then I was able to change my mind based on new information, right? And then I threw my hands up, and I said, before that, I threw my hands up. I said, well, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? I still have to go to work on Monday. And then you find out it makes all the difference in the world. This is where they want you, thinking that it doesn't make a difference, that it doesn't matter where you are, who you are, what you are. Doesn't matter the power that we truly have. They want the government to be over you. You're over the government, okay? It's God, man, government. Government is trying to put itself above God, let alone it's already above the people in most people's minds. Not my mind, not other flat earthers' minds. And you said, I think you made a disparaging comment, like the other 600 people or whatever. There are multi-millions of us growing every day, right? You are going to be in the minority very soon. Thanks for letting me talk, by the way. You're very polite.
Okay. Yeah. So just a question for you. Stars from both of our celestial poles, along with the seasonal constellations we have, They
Yeah.
all create a spherical map of the stars when you plot their positioning and the way
Yeah.
that they travel.
Right.
How does that work in a flat Earth model?
Yeah. Again, looking at the lights in the sky when they're provably not what they tell us. Lights. The stars that you're talking about are supposedly gigantic balls of gas in a space vacuum, scientifically impossible at distances that make absolutely no sense as far as the inverse square law of light and everything else goes. So you're looking up at things that we don't even know what they are, where they are, how far they are, and you want to say the movement of those dictate the shape of the floor. So you know that they say in our galaxy there's 100 billion stars, and that most of them, I think they say 80% of them are binary. Do you know what that means?
Singular.
No. Binary means that
Oh,
they all
on or
two
off?
stars. Yeah, two stars orbit around each other. Two stars are in a binary orbit, kind of making like a figure eight in their orbit. All right. So we have a galaxy that has arms that are spinning at millions and millions of miles per hour, and then all of the stars in those galaxies, most of them are in binary orbit. So they're making this crazy figure eight pattern. But never in history has anyone ever observed two stars crossing each other's pattern. Right? Like, hey, that star over there is now on the left side of that star. It used to be on the right side. Never once has there been any parallax in any stars. Okay, you'll hear stories. Oh, the stars used to be different. The pyramid used to point at Thuban, and now it points at Polaris. And we just happened to live at the time where the pyramid shaft points at Polaris. We had the Georgia Guidestones that was pointing at Polaris, that thin little hole, and it was up for over 40 years. That means that Polaris, according to the heliocentric model, its only excuse for why things don't move is because it's so far away. That the precession would have moved a half a degree. A half a degree, I believe, is like 1.5 moon widths, right? It would have been long out of that hole. And as soon as we reached that point where we were bringing it up on all these podcasts, pointing out how it's proving that we're not moving, somebody blew up the Georgia Guidestones. And within hours, they had bulldozers there to knock the whole thing down. Okay. You can keep living in your little globe paradigm and refusing to look at real evidence. That's your choice. You can have that. I would never live there.
So the star trails that do create a spherical map, they're just fake. We just don't know what they are.
If you look, I have on my app, which I'm sure you don't have, in the star rotation section in the frequently asked questions. There's a whole bunch of videos explaining a whole bunch of different ways. But one of the things that the Globers use is called an azimuthal grid of vision. This is how they navigate using the stars. They put a dome, a vision dome over you, and then the way we perceive the lights in the sky on this dome, they actually work perfectly. You have crepuscular and anti-crepuscular rays, not something that I can explain to you right here, but there's a whole bunch of videos there that will explain it to you. But even if it explains it to you, I don't know why you're looking at the lights in the sky to prove the shape of the earth. There is no curvature. Water lays flat, level when at rest. Large bodies of water are at rest. There is no curvature. There's no measurable curvature. No curvature, no ball.
So you can't create a sphere out of water.
No, you can. The NASA with their CGI, but a drop of water, anything bigger than a gallon of water at rest lays flat. Period. Okay. Now you want to say a raindrop? That is the surface tension. Can surface tension hold an ocean? I don't think so. I mean, you can claim it does,
would obviously be gravity at that point. But you can create on this planet. You can create a levitating ball of water.
Which gravity? Yeah, but that's a tiny little drop of water. Give me a gallon.
No, this is not a drop. I mean, you can create a large, but it would all just depend on what mechanism you had to put behind.
Well, I show it to me. I mean, show me. Why is there no curvature? Why is there no curvature?
I have a video of it somewhere.
Why is there no curvature?
No curvature to what?
No curvature to the Earth. Okay, so here we go. Here, let me just show you. This is an 8-mile canal, and it was frozen, so you can't claim refraction. We have the camera just inches above the ice. We're looking across at these lights. These are lasers. The one on the left is 8 miles away, then 7, 6, and 5. Right? These are the distances to the laser. We're just inches off the ice. The curvature should be 30 feet, 22 feet, 15 feet, and 9 feet. And I rounded down. Okay, I rounded down because I was like, you know what? The lights are a foot off and everything. And I used the curve calculator and I rounded down. 30 feet, 22 feet, 15 feet, and 9 feet. Why are they all Why are they all at the exact same plane when viewed with a camera?
There's just so many variables.
Many
First
variables.
of all, how do you know? How do you know that the level of that ice is perfect? Secondly, what you're seeing here in this camera image is various levels of distortion depending on distance. So there is an obvious effect of the distance there.
So on a flat Earth, there is a
but as far, I mean, and it's so distorted that you wouldn't even be able to discern a drop.
So hang on. On a flat Earth, the horizon is a apparent position. On a globe Earth, the horizon is a physical position. The horizon should be, for that camera, for seeing the surface of the ice, and the ice is flat, okay? Seeing the surface, and if it's curved, that's even worse, is less than a mile away. At that height, the curvature of the Earth should block the surface of the ice. But we're seeing stuff that at these great distances where there's 30 feet, it should be hidden behind a physical object of a physical Earth. Okay. Now you can say variable, you can say refraction, you could say the ice isn't level. Okay. That's you making up excuses to defend your position. Okay. It's okay to change your mind based on new information.
Yeah. What calculation are you using for that 30 feet drop over 8 miles?
I'm using the Pythagorean theorem. I'm using the out of the three calculations, I'm using the one that gives the globe the benefit of the doubt. Okay, it's the one that has the least amount of curvature, with all the ones that they say are accurate. I'm using the globe Earth curve calculator, where you're using viewer height, object height, and distance.
So 8 inches per square mile.
8 inches per mile squared. Now that is accurate up to like 2,000 miles.
So at 8 miles. We should be what, 64 inches down?
No, 8 times 8 is 64 times 8. 8 inches per mile squared. So at 8 miles, so 8 times 8 equals 64 times 8 inches equals 512 divided by 12 equals 42 feet.
I'm
42
not
feet.
sure. I'm just not sure.
You're not where sure about a lot of
where
things.
The squaring is coming from.
So do you know what the Pythagorean theorem is? Do you know what the Pythagorean theorem is?
No, I guess not.
So it's the most simple form of geometry. A squared plus B squared, if you have a right angle, equals C squared, the hypotenuse. Okay, and if you take the diameter of the Earth, 3959 or whatever they say it is today, and you use the Pythagorean theorem, you can figure out the drop completely accurately. And 8 inches per mile squared, it follows the Pythagorean theorem, but it's even a little bit less. It's like I forget the number. It's like just over 8 inches, but we round it down. We always give the globe the benefit of the doubt. Okay, so here's something that a request I have for you. Take this information, look at it, verify it, and then when it shows you I'm right, maybe change your position on where you live.
Actually, I don't think I need to go any further, because men getting their own way, just same constellations in winter as summer. End of story. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on a second. Same constellations in winter and summer proves the globe?
No, I don't know. I guess that's proving flat Earth. I don't know. So
hold on a second, everybody. Let me jump in. Graphics.
Yeah,
I don't know how much longer I'm going to leave you up here, man, because it's obvious, dude, that right now you are so in a state of consciousness where you're not really going to be listening to anything. You're not going to contribute anything.
I just tried to ask about the math. 8 inches per mile. There's no squaring there. I just don't know where the squaring is.
Listen, Graphics. He's telling you. Hold on, dude. He's showing you. He's presenting you what academia gives as the Earth curve calculator. It's not the flat Earth calculations. If you live on a globe that is purportedly 24,901 miles in circumference at the equator, you know what the diameter is. You know what the radius is. You can easily figure it out. The trigonometric calculation, which is derived from simple geometry, and as Dave said, the Pythagorean theorem, you can use 8 inches per mile squared, okay? That's what it is. He said it was at 8 miles. So you square that, that's 64. You times that by basically, 0.66, okay? And that gives you what it should be. He gave you the right calculation. You're trying to fight him on a calculation that's not his.
I asked him about it. I didn't try to fight him. I asked him what the number.
I'm done with you, graphics. You're done. I'm going to talk to Dave now, all right? If you want to hang out in the back and you want to bring you up, I'm not going to sit here and just watch you be emotionally triggered. I'm just not going to do that.
For a baller, he was actually not so bad. I wasn't here from the beginning. I'm sure you're frustrated, but he at least he listened. Okay, at least he listened. He's not willing to accept anything that's going to change his paradigm. But
no. Well, Dave, let's get into it. And welcome to Z Show. You and I have spoken once before, but it was on Rose's channel. Welcome to Z Show.
Thanks. I don't have my camera on, but I'm not set up for my camera, so.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. It's nice to have you here. So what I'm finding, Dave, is that really the core of this issue is not about the information, because the information at this point is overwhelming, okay?
Yeah.
It's the idea that we're facing a level of indoctrination that is on such a scale that it's beyond comprehension. To me, Dave, it's not about the information. It's that people can't grasp the magnitude of the lie, the magnitude of this deception. So when faced with overwhelming information that contradicts their pre-indoctrinated paradigm, they will reject it. They will put up a defense mechanism. They will show cognitive dissonance. They will show confirmation bias, and they will react emotionally because indeed they were conditioned through their emotions. He's evidencing the situation that I feel as though we have today, is that people are not really able to handle the information because they are functioning from their emotions, and they're presupposing a reality that they're not understanding is a belief. It's a belief only. There is no objective fact to it, because the reality is all applied physical science, all observable, measurable, and testable reality point to a level horizontal realm, plain and simple.
Exactly. It's amazing, and they've done such a great job getting people to be so lost in the heliocentric model that it takes a lot to admit that your entire world is a lie. I mean, you could find out your spouse or whatever was cheating on you. You could find out that something horrible in your life. You could find out that this isn't true. But the entire foundation of your world isn't what you were told. It's hard to let that go. And they've really done an amazing job. Hats off to the controllers on this one. They've done an amazing, amazing job brainwashing kids before they could even talk. I think the brainwashing starts, as soon as you put them in front of that TV. Then school, it's worse, the indoctrination camp, and every book. I was in I think it was Costco, and they have all these books, and you're looking at all these nice hardcover books. I used to be in the printing industry, and I see this space book and rockets, and it's super high gloss, high quality, amazing paper, printed beautifully. It's 3 inches thick, and the cost was $4.99. Okay, you can't ship that book for $4.99. But they want you to have this stuff. They want you to treasure these books. So they put them in at pricing that everyone's like, oh, this is a great gift, right? It's all.
Well, it's the same thing with the textbooks. They say that the Rockefeller education system, it appears that the Rockefellers, whoever, you can put any name on it, one of these elites, whoever these controllers are, they appear to be funding academia and education and subsidizing it, like you said, to the point where the cost of the goods, the books or whatever it is basically being subsidized to promote the propaganda. Let me ask you, because you pointed something out in your conversation with our friend Graphics there. You said that he's going to be, I don't know, I'm going to paraphrase, like in the minority in the near future. Do you believe that? Do you believe that this information, that the globe lie is on the verge of being uncovered in front of the world?
I would say almost all of the very big podcasters know the Earth is flat. They're just afraid to talk about it right now. Okay, because they don't want to lose their stuff. I was, we had Tyler Oliveira. I didn't know the guy before he interviewed me, and he did. You can call it a hit piece, but if it was any less of a hit piece, it wouldn't have been pushed on the front of the number 1 or 2 search on Google for the 24 hours that it got most of its views. He's got like 600, 700,000 views on it, and it is bringing a ton of people over. So he realized that the YouTube algorithm is stifling his channel because of this. So he is frantically putting out anti-flat Earth stuff, right? Which is just making it worse.
Well, it's funny, Dave, because I saw this, not to interrupt you, but his videos that he releases every, let's say 2 weeks on average.
Yeah.
He has over 4 million subscribers. Each video was getting over 2 million views consistently. Do you know the current views? Are you saying it's well below that at this point? Which would show obvious fuckery.
Yeah, no, totally. Because he was the number 2 search, and now he's not even in the search. You can't even find him unless you search for it. And so he realized that his he's making $100,000 a month sometimes with the number of views he's getting. He realized that his channel just came under scrutiny, so he's pulling out all of the stops. He's like, I trolled these flat earthers, I did that, and we knew where he was coming from, but there's so many people that have reached out to me. I spent 8 hours the other day just responding to emails saying, hey, I saw your thing on Tyler, where can I get more information? So he's waking up a ton of people. And as you say, all publicity is good publicity. I think good publicity is better than bad publicity, but it is all publicity. So get back to your question. There are, lots of big people. All of the top people in the medical freedom, health freedom movement, they're all flat earthers, right? I was going to speak at Anarchapulco. At least 4 of the speakers, including the founder and myself, so 5 of us are full flat earthers. Right. There's a lot of these big podcasts. They know. So they're just waiting for that one person. Stu Peters is out there, love him or hate him, whatever you want. I don't care. He's posting flat earth stuff every week on his Twitter and getting tons of people engaged. And then I'm going in there and other people are going in there posting real good answers to their questions and to their stupid comments, and people are waking up. So the answer is, yeah, I think we're one tweet, one video away from this literally going viral overnight. It's going to happen so fast. It's going to make our head spin, unlike the Earth.
See, that's the proverbial tipping point.
Yes.
Where there's a point at which the understanding becomes great enough where then it just shifts the paradigm. But here's the question. How do you see this playing out? Of course, we don't know, but we can conjecture, David. How do we see this playing out? Okay, it goes viral. All of a sudden, your grandma, grandpa, Uncle Jim, and Aunt Tilly are all talking about it at the Thanksgiving table. What does that look like? Because I'll tell you what I see, Dave. I see financial systems crumbling. Yep. I see governments toppling instantaneously. Yep. And I see war. Now, what I'm saying is, I see, let's say, proverbial birthing pains. I don't see a transition from the deception to the uncovering of truth without any trials and tribulations. What do you see?
I can see that, but I can also see another possibility that will definitely in some form happen, where instead of toppling what's there, instead of fighting the current system, we just create a new system and we forget about the old system. So all the people that are waking up, they're like, you know what? Let's not worry about the old system. Let's just say, hey, we're starting this new education system. We're starting this. We're going to use this cryptocurrency, whatever it is. We're going to start our own financial system. And, if everyone ignored the governments would have no power whatsoever. The only power the governments have is because everybody is afraid of them and does what they say. Right? They have nothing. They have absolutely nothing. So yeah, this goes viral overnight. There will be an amazing time, and I would never want to miss it, of the turning over of society to waking up to this new paradigm. And I think the new paradigm will be so exciting that the positive of it will overtake the negative And there'll be people that want blood and heads, and I wouldn't mind seeing a few heads in the, hanging, swinging from trees. But that's not the goal. I think that this whole awakening is going to be so amazing that it'll dominate. The pro will overwhelm the negative part.
Let me ask you this, Dave. How do you think this goes? Because my understanding is, of course, that military leaders, the guys at the top, they understand that we exist in a level horizontal realm. If they have to navigate as, let's say the theater of war, like from World War II, okay? If they're navigating around the world, they have to understand practically the maps they're using and how they relate and the impossibility of the globe. So the military at least has to know. But what I'm asking you is, how high do you think it goes? Meaning to say, presidents, leaders of nations, even Elon Musk himself, or the head of NASA, I contend may be even deluded like everybody else. I think it's quite possible that those that know may count amongst a very small number. I think it's possible that this delusion goes so deep that even the Neil deGrasse Tysons of the world, and dare I say even like an Elon Musk, may be also being unwittingly duped, played, and puppeteered by whatever this control structure is. I'm just conjecturing. How high do you think it goes?
Yeah, I agree. I go back and forth on whether Elon knows or not. I think was it him that has like this big scar on his head? Like he could be totally MK Ultra mind controlled. Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's not the smartest guy at all, so he might be. Don Pettit, he probably 100% believes everything he's saying is real. On the space station, you had that young black girl. She's totally in a hypnotic trance, hanging from wires, and she believes she's on the space station. So yeah, they can fool people that way. Biden, I don't even think he knows he's president, so I don't know if what he knows about the Earth. And I would say there are some world leaders that know, and some that don't. There's not as many people in the power structure that there's not as many that we think know. I mean, there's less that know than one might conjecture. I think more people outside of the power structure know. I think we're dominating. So when this goes viral, yeah, some heads will roll, but I think we're gonna just be focused on a solution. You don't want to look back at the rubble. You want to look forward at what we're gonna do with this new information. And I think that time's coming very, very, very soon. And it's gonna be I don't want to say mayhem, but I want to say it's going to be a wild time. And some people are going to look at it and go, "Oh my God, this is the most awful thing in the world." And other people like us are going to look at it and go, "This is the most amazing thing in the world. This is fantastic." And we're going to go from there. So, we'll see what happens. It's a crazy world we live in, and I'm doing the best I can. Just for those of you out there, if RV is out there, I'm holding up 666 signs with my hands right now and making the Freemason symbol at the same time while standing on one leg with a hand in my shirt. Okay, just so you can make a good video about this, all right? Because we've never seen the gestures he's making or what he's doing or his giant bubble head. The reason I'm mentioning that is I'm going to be on the Jeff Doherty show tonight, addressing some comments that have been made recently, and Jeff's going to be asking
Jeff Doherty, the Christian whistleblower, Mr. Jeff Doherty himself.
Want to hear a funny story? The first time I was on his show, when he first came on the screen, I'm like, wow, I'm on with the Christian whistleblower. I thought he was a Christian blowing the whistle on conspiracies.
No, it's quite the opposite. He was once a pastor. He was I forget which denomination. He was in the denomination where they would smack you on the head and you go and confide. I think it's somebody will tell me in my chat. Anyway,
whatever.
Yeah, he was in that one. He had a funny story that he was so arrogant as a pastor that he would wipe the sweat off his brow and use that as the anointing oil on people. Ask him that question. It's disgusting to hear it.
Right, so just so people know, I don't agree with a lot of what Jeff Doherty says, but I applaud his right and ability to convey his message. I think that Christians should be friends with him because He's holding his position, they hold theirs, and the truth will prevail. So I'm all for everybody talking about what they want to talk about, as long as they're authentic in what they're saying.
He seems to be embracing the Nordic gods, last I heard. He's onto the Nordic thing. Also, you'll be interested, Dave. He's also very interested in the Aryan presentation, the National Socialist Party that we saw arise after the Weimar Republic and World War II Germany, and he's very interested in that culture. So you and he should have a lively conversation. I watched him do a flat. I watched him become a flat earther in real time some years ago.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah. It was right around it was around the Owen Benjamin time. It was right around that 2017 era.
I think it was a little before Owen. I think I was like one of the first flat earthers he had on his show.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it was around there. Dave, what's it like for you? What's it like being David Weiss? Indeed, we have had rumors here in the Z Show, unconfirmed, maybe you can confirm them, that indeed you are taking trips and vacations beyond the ice wall, and you potentially have a timeshare in the land of Mew. Is that confirmed, or is that just speculation?
I actually have a home. It's not a timeshare. I would never do a timeshare there. Okay. Because you want to go when you want to go. So I don't like other people sleeping in my bed. So, correct. Okay.
Look, if anybody's going to go out there, it should be you, Dave. I think you've earned a fucking ticket out there. What do you say to flat earthers like?
We don't know if there's anything beyond.
Right. We don't know.
We don't know. But one of the things, like in the Tyler Oliveira stuff, he's at my house for 4 or 5 hours, and we're interviewing, and I'm showing him all of the hard stuff that we can measure and test. And he's like, well, what about the ice wall? What's beyond the ice wall? And we're talking about space. And I was explaining how ridiculous space is, and how the distances are ridiculous, and the gas balls in a vacuum are impossible. None of it makes any sense. And then he wanted to talk about Antarctica and what could be beyond the ice wall. So I said, all right, but this is all speculation. There's some evidence, but there's nothing that we can prove until we have the ability to explore. And I talked about the outer lands, and he was like, show me some maps and stuff. And I clearly pointed out this is all just theory and conjecture. And I looked at it and I said, if the earth was flat, this makes sense. And that's what he used. I showed him that. He goes, Dave says this makes sense. Right. And I don't regret, of course, I don't regret saying that. But then all of the armchair quarterbacks are like, why is he talking about that? He's just making flat earth look stupid. No, I'm not. Right. That that video he put out, let's take 10 more videos like that from him or from anybody. We'll take it, because it is waking up more and more and more people. Even the ridiculous video with Dave Farina, the debate, the alleged debate that I was on, that is waking up tons of people that we would never reach. I get emails still from people going, no way am I a flat earther, but why did this guy act like that? And I would like, all right, thanks for emailing. Here, watch these 2 videos, watch these 3 videos, and then you'll know. And I'll send them some good stuff. And then I get an email back going, holy crap, this is real. I had no idea. And so, all publicity is publicity. So.
Yeah, fair point on that, man. And I saw the video you referenced with, was it not Simon, Professor Dave, he goes by Professor Dave, where he basically used a litany of, let's say, logical fallacies in his approach towards you. Let's say ad hominem would be primary amongst them.
Well, if you watch the Mind Shock, on the app, if you go to Debunking the Debunkers, or on my channel, you'll find the Mind Shock did a breakdown of logical fallacies and ad homs and kept score. It's the funniest video I've ever seen. And Dave's got the worst score ever. It's a real logical look, and he takes it from not flat or globe point of view. He's just looking at it for the validness of the argument, and it came out completely ridiculous. I was going to say something else, but I forgot what it was.
That's right. It's funny. People who say, "Oh, Dave Weiss is in it for the money," this, that, and other thing. If Dave, I got a recommendation. If you really want to be in this for the money, Dave, here's your move right now. Switch your stance, go Globey, and you'll get millions and millions of videos as you go against the flat earth. That's how you're going to make money, dude. You're not really going to do a lot of, make a lot of fucking finances coming out doing what Dave's doing, everybody. You have to understand that. You want to make money, this isn't the route to do it. You actually do the opposite, and YouTube will promote you right to the top of the algorithms, because when I look at the anti-flat earthers, they have millions and millions and millions of views. When I look at people like Dave, Jaron, Mr. Whitsitt, and others like him, you can obviously see the shadow banning and the outright suppression of this information. It's absurd to think that anybody's in this game for money. Dave, people say that to me, even on my relatively small channel, that I'm basically in this for some financial gain and I'm duping people. It's insane, the argument on its face.
You know, absolutely. People say that all the time, and it's the dumbest thing ever. They say that I'm in it for the money, and I walked away from a lot of money to follow this, because this is, you know, I feel it is my calling, and I don't want to live in a world where we're living in a world of lies. I'm doing my best by myself. I sure do need some help. But everyone thinks, oh, this is all scripted. You know, it's so funny. I used to be like, wow, RV's really, he's got a good analysis. And I believe a lot of what he's saying. But then when he says that I'm a shill, and I know that I'm not a shill, and he says that it's scripted, and I know it's not scripted, and he pointed out to, you know, the redhead guy in the jersey, that he goes, one of the paid actors, that's my friend Ian. He's a comedian in Connecticut. And I'm like, I have to reevaluate everything this guy has ever said, and it's complete and total stupidity. So it's I don't know. It's crazy. You know, if I wanted to sell out, I could certainly sell out. I definitely could. I'm working my ass off all the time, 7 days a week. I don't take a day off, right? Except when I go across the ice wall to my mansion over there. I do relax over there because there's not good internet over there. Just so you know.
I can imagine. All right, David, we appreciate you coming on. I know you kind of popped on impromptu. It was very welcome. It was a pleasure. Make sure you come back and see us. Where could we find you? Give us a spot.
Oh, that's what I remember. I wanted to say. In the video, and that's one of the biggest things that RV says. He goes, look, there he is trying to sell his app. Yep, I am trying to sell my app. I want everyone in the world to have my app so they can find the information that Google's hiding from you. Right. I tell people, just go to my website, and people are like, oh, you're sending them to your website for the truth. Well, my website is probably one of the best places for a compilation of everyone's work. I have all the stuff there. I have links to everything. You don't have to get the app, and you can find the truth there. Rather than, where am I going to send them? Over to Eric Dubay, right? Eric Dubay's got some great stuff, but then you'll find stuff on the H hoax, and that'll piss some people off, even though it's probably true. And then you'll find stuff where he's dressing like a woman, making fun of flat earthers, and then that'll scare people away. So, you know, what do? I try to go on as many different shows as I can, big and small, and you know, especially the ones that don't like flat Earth, and try to spread some truth. And it seems to be working. So, you know, for all the haters out there, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear here, but you can GFYS.
Right on, Dave. And flatearthdave.com would be the website. Is that correct?
That's it. That takes you right to my website, and then, you know, you can get the app there. You can scroll down to the crash course. That just bypasses YouTube's algorithm and shows you the best videos. And you know, I say turn off Netflix. Watch these videos. They're actually very well done, entertaining, amazing. And it's impossible to watch 2 or 3 of them and remain to be a globe earther. The only people that are globe earthers are people that refuse to look at the actual information. And then they're like, well, let me look at the information. And they Google flat Earth, and Google serves them up mind control. That's it.
Awesome.
All right, man.
All right, Dave, come back and see us soon, man. Much love. It was a pleasure.
See you. Thanks. Bye.
Dave Weiss, everybody. Chopping it up with your pal, Z. What an unexpected surprise. I'm talking to Mr. Graphics about the convo, and Dave Weiss, Flat Earth Dave, pops on up. Just kind of, it's sort of self-explanatory, everybody. But much love to you, Graphics, man. I hope you go and watch this, Graphics, and see how emotionally reactive you were. Let's remember. I tried to do this with the graphics. He didn't want to go over the 27 emotions. Audience, let's try to identify the emotion that graphics was displaying for us. Was it admiration? No. Was it adoration? Nope. Aesthetic appreciation? Certainly not. Amusement? Anxiety? Maybe. You might have been showing anxiety. You know, you're definitely evidencing anxiety. So we're going to put that one. Awe, awkwardness, and boredom, calmness, confusion, craving, disgust. Yeah, he was showing disgust. You seem pretty disgusted with us flat earthers, Mr. Graphics. Definitely see that there. Empathetic pain, no. Entrancement, no. Envy, probably not. Excitement, fear, maybe fear. You may have been evidencing fear, good sir, that you're just masking with anger. Because like I said, they're not even including anger on these 27 emotions. Horror, interest, joy, nostalgia, romance, sadness, satisfaction, sexual desire, sympathy, triumph. Now, most likely you were showing fear, disgust, and anxiety. Those appear to be the three emotions that Mr. Graphics was evidencing for us. I like to do this, guys, because by identifying the emotions, we don't have to like categorize him. We don't have to place a pejorative on our friend Graphics. We don't have to hate him, certainly. We can understand him because we can look and we can relate to the human emotion that he was expressing, man. Rose says they were saying you like to fuck yourself with a cucumber while taking a bath during the CFM show. What, Rose? Are you saying I? Oh, never mind. She's talking to somebody in the chat. Like Rose talking about cucumber. Much love, Graphics. No, he says he disagrees. But which, okay, out of the emotions I just read, Graphics, which one would you say that you were experiencing? I'm not in you, dude. I asked you and you refused to identify. You didn't want to talk about the emotions. So, okay, of those 27 emotions that I just read, which one were you experiencing at that moment? It was probably disgust, if I had to guess, or anxiety, like I said. Funny guy, though. Much love, everybody. Much love to Dave for showing up right on time. And I didn't even have to ask him about that Tyler Oliveria thing. He came out right out with it, which is a good move. Much love, everybody. This is why I do this each and every morning. Talk about this. You have to understand, Graphics, your presentation and the point that you took and the stance that you took this morning is easy. You came on, we were expressing some sense of righteous indignation at somebody like me who has the audacity to come on and say the things that I say, or somebody like Dave or others in this chat. You're coming on with a righteousness that is likely just masking your own fears and insecurities, because as I said, the information being presented by myself, Dave, and others like us challenges your very identity. An identity that has been created and defined for you through a system of operant conditioning by a social engineering structure that has been intact for at least 500 years and is only progressing with this IT age. We define ourselves through our worldview. You have to understand your worldview, the paradigm through which you view your existence, has been shaped for you. You hold things as fact that are simply beliefs. You believe you live in a certain place. Our thoughts, our actions, and our behavior are dictated by our unconsciously held beliefs. Most people are just simply unaware that they are beliefs and beliefs only. You accept them as fact. You accept them as fact because of consensus, conditioning, and authority. None of that is logical. That's why I consistently talk about logic on this show. That's why we review the logical fallacies. Because if you can learn to think logically, you can see through any deception that could be presented to you. Any of them. That's why we have logic, the principles of logic. That's why we have things like the scientific method. We can use the principles of science. We can use the empirical method to come to an understanding of this world and discover the objective reality that we all share. We can get beyond our subjective conditioning and beyond our emotions. There's tools for you. The ability for critical thought has been engineered out of you. You, by nature, as a man or woman, possess the instinct for logic, reasoning, and critical thought. Children evidence it at very early ages. Is only through the indoctrination that you are taught to think otherwise. That's why I'm consistently tell you all, I'm not coming here this morning to show you, to tell you what to think. I'm trying to show you how to think so you can take back your God-given powers, your sovereignty of mind, your ability for critical thought, your ability to undertake an understanding of the realm in which you find yourself in that has been stolen from you. If you say to me, what does it matter? You're saying, what does truth matter? Plain and simple. When you say, what does this topic matter? You're just saying, what does truth matter? You're abandoning truth and you're choosing to live in a fantasy because it is comfortable and convenient. Plain and simple. All right, let me get off this high horse of mine. Let's move on to the next segment. Much love, graphics. Appreciate it. Get a hold of yourself, good sir. It's going to be all right. You're not spinning out of control in multiple vectors and incalculable speeds and impossible space. Your feet are planted firmly on the ground that you walk on. They've convinced you against all objective and observable, demonstrable reality that indeed it's not the sky that's moving, that you are moving. That's an insane notion. The heliocentric and globe model is the claim. Logically, that's the claim. The burden is not on me or Dave or anybody else to disprove their claim or to then insert another claim. The burden of proof is on the claimant. Everybody who's logical understands that. When you come to say to me and say, Z, you're showing me no proofs of your flat earth, you're showing me no proofs of your flat earth, I say to you, I am under no obligation to prove a flat earth because that is not a claim. It's just reality. The claim is the absurd claim of the heliocentric model that goes and is antithetical to all objective, observable reality. They're presenting an absurd claim. The burden is to prove the globe. Don't ask me to prove the flat earth. I'm asking you to prove the globe. That's what you don't understand. Better calm down. Let me look at all right, where am I? This is the point of the show where we have to look at our emotions. I'm not showing admiration or adoration, maybe a little bit of anxiety, maybe some disgust. All right? Maybe horror. I don't know why anger is not on the 27 list of emotions. Like I said, did they make the emotions are woke now? Are we going to have to go back to the simple 6 emotions? I think I'm going to stick with the 6 emotions. The 27 are too much. I only brought out the 27 emotions because some of you ladies of Z Show, you're so emotionally complex and volatile that I had to bring it beyond the 6. But let's bring it back to the 6 for Z. I'm kind of basic. Sadness, happiness, fear, anger, surprise, disgust. Okay, I was getting a little angry there, Mr. Graphics. Now I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to bring it out of anger. Let's bring it towards happiness. Let's all get happy. Although I'm about to read the news, so I don't know how happy that's going to make us. Maybe more disgust would probably be the emotion I'm going to evidence here when I read the news. Just saying. Let me pull up my sound. My tabs are out of here. I'm spurging out this morning. By the way, guys, like and share the show. You know I'm not getting promoted by YouTube. Guys, I watched people get deplatformed off of YouTube because of this very topic we're talking about. You guys know who Owen Benjamin is? I mean, I know he like kind of used to scream the N-word over and over and over again at the top of his lungs. I know he used to make songs where he purposely included the N-word. Even that, though. We're watching people get deplatformed, shadow banned because of this very topic. I've actually had lunatics come on here and tell me, "Yo, Z, you're a flat earther because you want to appeal to the truthers." It's the same thing I said to Dave. Being a flat earther doesn't really appeal to any great demographic. And trust me, there's not a lot of flat earthers running around with a bunch of fiat in their pocket. That much I know for sure. Here's my point. If you want to make money in the truth community, the flat earth is not the way to do it. It's actually completely the fucking opposite. And that's evidenced here each and every morning by the people who come up here and share their stories about what's happened to them when they decided to speak up about the things that they accept about this reality. Loss of career, loss of marriages, loss of friends, loss of families. You think it's easy doing this? And people say to me, "Oh, Z, you just want to be different. You just want to be part of a community. You want to be the special boy." No, it's the complete opposite. If you guys only really knew the reality of it, but you're just caught in your emotions. You're too caught up in your emotions. All right, everybody, it's that time in Z Show where I bring you, see if I can hit the mark. I'm going to miss the mark. I could tell because my thing's spinning in the background. Let's try it again. It's time for news. That's right, everybody. Settle in. Z's going to bring you the fake news. Does he tell you his real news? Like I said, they're presenting a fake reality for you. Top amongst their propaganda machine is their fucking mainstream news bullshit narrative that's completely insane, and everybody just believes it. Anyway, let's get into it. In today's top story from CNN, children were carrying other injured children. Witness describes aftermath of Israeli strike on Gaza refugees. Of course, the top story is going to be about the Israeli-Gaza conflict. Let's get into it. An Israeli strike targeting a Hamas commander in the densely populated Jabalia refugee camp in northern Gaza has left catastrophic damage and killed a large number of people, according to eyewitnesses and medics in the enclave. I love that word, enclave. Anyway, let's continue. The devastation wrought by the strike triggered a fresh groundswell of grief over spiraling civilian casualties as Gazans awoke to another communications blackout Wednesday morning. Survivors and eyewitnesses spoke of apocalyptic scenes in the aftermath of the strike, which tore a massive crater through the middle of the crowded camp. Well, just more of the same here with this story in the Middle East, conflict in the Middle East, conflict. Wars, rumors of wars, signs of the times. They say we will not know the time of the coming, but we will see the signs and the seasons. Well, folks, what do you say here? You guys know me. I'm not a doctrine-believing Christian. I don't just go through orthodoxy. I don't follow Scripture as such. But it's called Scripture for a reason. Again, we like to talk about the ideology of words, okay? The etymology of words. When we look at the etymology of words, we see Scripture. What else has a script? Well, movies have scripts, stories that are played out. What's called the theater of war. seems as though all the world is truly a stage. Doesn't mean people aren't dying. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is when we look at these conflicts throughout the ages, they appear to be engineered from the top down. What do you mean, Z? What do you mean, Z? It means it looks like they're playing both sides because, as I've said repeatedly, the interest is not in who wins the war. The interest is the war itself. If they can keep us at war, they can keep us under control. It's a classic manipulation tactic. Just keep us fighting. That's what we have here. Now, the question is, they've stacked the dominoes. They've stacked the dominoes since World War II. They brought us these cold wars in between. They brought us these conflicts. The question is, have they stacked the dominoes and are they ready to tip? Once the dominoes are tipped through a process of stimulus response and sequela, we can see greater conflagration, not fear porn. They're already lining up the Iranian-U.S. interests in this conflict. It's evident from the beginning. It evokes thoughts post 9/11 of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq and et cetera, they're linking seemingly independent events and incidents into a cohesive story likely to present you an agenda. Are the dominoes about to fall? What does that mean for us? What does it mean for you? What should you be doing? Should you be prepping? Should you be preparing? How's this? Maybe prep your soul. To me, this is a spiritual game. It's a spiritual realm. You only think it's secular and physical as such because you believe in a history that is false, a science that is false, a cosmology that is false, and religions that likely were presented to you whole cloth for control and propaganda. The only reason you see this world as anything other than spiritual is because you were convinced against it. You want to prep your spirit, prep your soul, prep your consciousness. In other news, from the AP, Maryland man who received second pig heart transplant dies. 2 pig heart transplants. Let's get into it. The second person to receive a transplanted heart from a pig has died nearly 6 weeks after the highly experimental surgery his Maryland doctors announced. Got it. So the man himself didn't receive 2 pig hearts, I guess one after another. No, he's the second surgery related to pig heart transplantation. Got it. Thank you. Let's continue. Lawrence Fawcett, 28, was dying from heart failure and ineligible for a traditional heart transplant when he received the genetically modified pig heart. I'm sure there's probably a number of reasons why he was ineligible. I don't know if it's, who knows? I don't want to conjecture. They're saying he was ineligible for, a human heart. So they gave him a pig heart. According to the University of Maryland School of Medicine, the heart had seemed healthy for the first month, but began showing signs of rejection in recent days. A statement released by the hospital, Fauci's wife, Anne, said her husband knew his time with us was short, and this was his last chance to do for others. He never imagined he would survive as long as he did. Here's the point, and then I'm going to get to my real point. When you're at the point where you're rejected for a heart transplant, and it's time to get the pig heart, I mean, I know you're 58, that's relatively young. Maybe it's time just to say, hey, you know what? I had a good run here in this earthly incarnation. Maybe it's time to kind of move on, join the cosmos. But again, it goes back to what I was saying, because this 58-year-old Gen X borderline boomer was probably under the false belief that he evolved from pond scum and that this whole universe, quote unquote, was created from a big bang, where nothing became something and contradicted all laws of physics and entropy into forming more complex structures into this solar system, into this world. And then through billions of years of evolution, he was born with his big brain that gives him consciousness. You see, this gentleman was very likely operating under those false beliefs. Under those beliefs, there is no God, no Almighty, no ultimate deity, no Father of Spirit, no spirituality at all. So when you exist in that false paradigm, you're going to cling to every single second you have to the point where you'll get a fucking pig heart put in your chest just to get a couple weeks of fucking precious life. Is your life so sweet? These are the presentations that are given to us, that the only thing that matters is this life. I will tell you now, there are fates worse than death. One of them is being so scared that you get a fucking pig heart put in your chest just to squeeze out a little bit of a couple more weeks of life. The other point I wanted to make on this topic was the pig and how pigs are so genetically similar to humans, that the pig cells, pig tissue, and pig organs are so similar to humans that they can even be transplanted and used in human bodies. There's some beliefs and some stories from antiquity that pigs are so related to humans that indeed they are an offshoot of humanity, and that there was some weird genetic fuckery going on in the past. Look at the presentation of the chimeras that we see, the cryptids in antiquity, not only presented in the Old Testament Bible, but through many, many of the writings and so-called scriptures that we have through multiple cultures, through multiple times in antiquity. They talk about these strange beings. Is it possible that the pig is one of these beings and that we are more closely related to these fucking pigs than we thought? Why does the Old Testament forbid the eating of swine flesh? Yes, pig. People say because pigs are dirty, pigs are dirty. It's not that they're dirty. There's a reason we can't eat. I'm just saying. It's interesting. In other news, where did it go? Where's my article? Everything just, all the articles reset on me. Thanks, computer. Throwing off my timing. This theater of the mind. We're losing the theatrical portion of it. Unbelievable. Here we go. Come on, come on. All right, that's enough. My computer just shit out on us. It's okay. We've gone long enough. That'll do it. That'll bring us to the end of another Z show, everybody. Nice morning. We had on Mr. Graphics, our resident globehead, who seemed very resistant to the information being presented by Mr. David Weiss, who made an appearance here this morning. My assumption is we have Rose 777 to thank for that appearance. Thank you, Rose. I know Rose was in the chat. Very likely Rose hit up Mr. Weiss, and he was gracious enough to take some time out of his morning to come chop it up with his pal Z. Graphics says, thanks for having me up. Sorry I was so triggered. Hopefully at least drew some viewers. Much love, Graphics. Many blessings to you, sir. Yeah, you were triggered, Graphics, but that's normal. Rose said it was indeed Rose who got Mr. David over here. Thank you, Rose. Made for a great morning. It's always great here. It's funny, I came on here in these YouTube airways. My first video was almost a year ago now. I haven't been doing these morning shows for a year. It's only been maybe 3 or 4 months steady here, but I first made my presence known here on YouTube a year ago. And my original intent was to have a morning show that's entertaining, engaging, and humorous for truthers. And it turns out it's exactly what's developed here. We know the algorithms aren't going to push us, but I just come on and I do my thing, and we get to meet all kinds of wonderful people. I can go throughout my time here on this broadcast, and I think about like all the wonderful, amazing people that have been exposed to and have the privilege to discourse with. And I expect as we proceed in this endeavor, that will only increase. All right, everybody, that's enough. We did 3 hours and a half today. We did over 4 hours yesterday. And, you know, I like to keep the shows tight. 3 hours to me is a good length. Between 3 hours and 20 minutes is a good length for me. What do they say in the biz? You want to leave them, always leave them wanting more. So in the spirit of that, I will bid you farewell and adieu. And if the fates are willing, we'll be back here doing the same thing tomorrow. Right here. Same Z time, same Z channel. 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Much love, everybody. Take care.